Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Spike. I'm Brian the Grizzly here. We're here with Martin. If I'm here and it's in the morning time, you know Martin is here. And that means everyone else is asleep.
Someone's
we're here to talk about all football stuff, all free agency news, get you ready for the draft, and just talk about football in general. So, if you really have to get your football fix in, this is the place to be. This is what we're going to do. Time to have fun. How you doing, Martin?
I'm still waking up, dude. I'm still waking up.
It's so funny because I get up so early every morning. I get up at like 6 or 7, depending on if it's the girls that have to go to school or not. And I go work out. I run 2 miles. I go lift for an hour. Come back. I get some breakfast started. Usually my wife is actually making breakfast today. Come down, read a comic book or two, and you just wait for the time to come by. I'm such a football nerd in general. Just this is what I am. Can't help it.
It's when the time changes. It takes me more time to adjust, because even though Arizona doesn't change their clocks, the show starts differently.
Yeah.
In theory, it should start at 7 a.m. for me.
Yep.
So technically, it's kind of the same, but it's not. Like, I know last year we met in the middle, like at 7:30 in the morning for me.
Yep. Which I'm cool with doing whatever.
Yeah. I'm just surprised that they're not. I don't know.
Like, it's literally 10 o'clock in the morning for me.
Well, I mean, Mark is so unreliable on Sundays. It's oh yeah, I'll be there, and then he doesn't show up. So it's like that is nothing out of the ordinary. So
I always say with Mark, him moving and having all that stuff, it's one thing. Everyone has their responsibilities, man. So I know, but me, I guess I have none.
Yeah.
Brady said it's 11 here.
I don't know.
Brady, tell Mark to get his butt up. But come on.
He ain't gonna do it.
Man.
Look, give me some time. Get my coffee in. We'll get through this. Eventually, at some point, something will trigger me, and then I'll get a little hyped up about one of these teams or something. Yeah, Sundays I usually don't. I don't really run the show.
Yep.
Usually Wednesdays I do. You guys usually run the show Sundays, so I'm just here.
He is here as part. And I'm sure Tank's gonna jump on soon. And
yeah,
Braden says I'm not dealing with his grumpy ass if I wake him up.
He knows we have a show in the morning. Like, why? Like, let's put it this way. He would be up early mornings if it was during season, right?
Yep.
So what's the difference? We have a show regardless.
Dude, I'm actually impressed, honestly. There's no way I can sleep that long. I can't. I literally physically cannot sleep that long. I have to get up and go start doing stuff.
I mean, he might go to bed late. That's probably the issue, though.
I don't go to bed till I go to bed at midnight, probably.
I'm just saying, if he goes to bed
at 3 or 4
3 in the morning, yeah,
then that changes it.
Which it wouldn't surprise me.
I'm too old for that. 3 in the morning. I've only seen, like, in the last 3 months, I've seen 3 in the morning one time. That's because I woke up early. Not because I stayed up at night. I'm super old. But let's get some football news real quick. So everyone saw the sources came through the trade for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks is now traded to the Cowboys for a 2023 5th and a 2024 6th. I mean, really, that's the bottom of the barrel. That's really giving up nothing. They gave up nothing to get Brandon Cooks.
That's kind of how they did with Gilmore.
Exactly what they did with Gilmore.
It was the 5th round. Like, they're paying nothing for these old dudes that are still kind of relevant, that are still going to be good for, like, this next season. But
it makes sense to do it, though.
After that, I don't know how long they're going to be there, though. That's the big question. So, are they making a push for this season to beat the 49ers? That's what.
That's what I would be doing. This they have to do it now because
Mhm.
everyone else is coming up. I feel like, Philly's only gonna get better.
Mhm.
Same thing Washington. Washington's only gonna get better.
Yeah.
The Giants have gotten a lot better. I mean, look what the moves that they've made with Darren Waller now being there. So they have receivers. They have a tight end. They have 2 tight ends. They still have Saquon. They got better on defense. They got better on that line. So
Mhm.
I'm impressed with the things that they've done.
Yeah. Look. It's just the Giants. They need more weapons coming into the offseason. They got themselves some weapons. Key thing is if they can stay healthy and if they can get a little bit more. Like I still think they go into the draft to look for a receiver at some point. But because they're gonna want a high contender to be there for a while. They just signed Daniel Jones for at least another 2 years.
Yeah,
I know the contract was longer, but
that's what it really is.
let's be
Contract.
real about this. He's only going to be there for about 2 years before we revisit this contract,
Yep.
or he's gone. Like it's just the way it is. So yeah,
I mean,
I'm
it's
trying.
everyone's crazy, and they're like, "Oh no, it's a good move."
I'm trying to see what they did
And the Giants have
besides
done
the
a lot of good.
Waller move.
I mean, signing Saquon. I mean, it was a lot of different
Well,
moves.
yeah. So, but yeah, Laramie Tunsil just got paid. Yeah,
Yeah, he definitely did.
3-year deal, 75 million with the
$50
full
million
50 full guaranteed.
guarantee. Yep. It tells you, man, the left tackles are ruling this thing, man. They're running
Oh
it.
yeah, it's true. They basically it's and we've said it before multiple times. It's the blind side to most of these right-handed quarterbacks. The
Yep.
league is mainly right-handed. So it's like the blind side. They need that position more than they need anything else. And it becomes repetitive, but you'd still be surprised. A lot of people just don't know, and it's fine. But it's the most important position. Now, if the quarterback's left-handed and that's your franchise quarterback, then you don't really invest in the left. I mean, you still do, but you're not like seeking the highest, best paid one. You probably look more for your right one.
Yeah.
Like the right-handed one is more
It's
in
weird though.
that
Like, so
situation.
I look at this and so see what Larry Tunsil got, and I think about Orlando Brown Jr. What he got. So he said he wants to be a left tackle. That's crazy. That's great, right? So Cincinnati's giving him the opportunity to be a left tackle, but truly they're paying him like a right tackle. What's up, Tank? How's it going?
What's up?
But they're paying him like a right tackle. Orlando Brown Jr. is not getting paid left tackle money.
But that's his own fault. Because
No.
not Cincinnati, the Chiefs were going to pay. He was going to be one of the highest paid left tackle, and he decided to go somewhere else. So him not getting paid is his own fault. He was gonna get paid a lot of money, it was going to be like 23 mil, I think.
Yep.
And he turned it down to go play for Cincinnati.
He didn't know the rest of the league was going to say, you're a right tackle. He didn't know that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, it's surprising to me. Honestly, it was surprising that he didn't get. I thought he was going to get at least 22 million too.
Well, now like all over the like social media and stuff, everyone's just dogging him. Like, hey, look how great he is, and it show his highlights or his low lights, I guess it's called, of all his just crap. And it's just like minutes of him just missing blocks and chasing after people. And I was like, damn. I'm like, that is not a good look, dude. Like, you missed out on a lot of money, and social media is making fun of you.
It's horrible, but am I surprised? No. My biggest issue with him is that he's inconsistent. So if you're talking about left tackle, I'd rather you be consistent or me develop someone. And that's what the Chicago Bears decided that I'd rather develop Braxton Jones than pay you over $15 million. It's crazy.
Who's their own line coach? I always forget for the Bears. Like, it needs to be somebody who's developed somebody before, at least, right?
He's good. I know he's not Harry. He's the best. But
Right.
Bears O-line coach, I know it's pretty good. It's a Chris Morgan, so this is his first year for us. But he definitely studied under Heasted. Yeah, so he worked with up in Pittsburgh and Atlanta.
Fuck.
So yeah.
Is my internet cutting out?
No, you look good.
You look good.
Everything just went black on my screen.
Uh-oh.
It was an issue yesterday.
Yeah, you're not freezing or anything. You look good.
Okay. And then it got quiet. And I'm like, crap, I got disconnected. All right. I wasn't sure. I'm trying to find. Damn, man, I lost my. I had some tabs over for specific guys, but I mean, I was gonna ask you how you guys felt about having 2 decent tight ends now.
I don't know what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
That's why I'm actually really confused about that.
Why not? I mean, if you have 2 tight ends, you open up the route tree to double tight and maybe have no running back. Like if you get and then 2 receivers, or 1 running back, 2 receivers, 2 tight ends. Like I don't know. I feel like it opens up the playbook.
Yeah, you could do
for
12.
a potential.
I can use 12. You could do 12 now. Still 1 back, two tight ends.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The goal line would be a lot more dangerous for you guys. And I just wanted to see how you guys felt about Robert Tonyan. Like it was a 1-year deal. It was a 26 or something like that.
Yeah, but it wasn't that much money.
2,650,000.
2.6 million, I think it was. My worry with Robert Tonyan being there is that they start throwing to him in the end zone too much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I really need. We had a really good year last year, and I need us to focus on that. And develop what we could, because I think he could be good.
Mm-hmm.
Always, but it's always something getting in the way. Us getting what do we have? Who do we have before? From Seattle and no, who do we have before? From Seattle and New Orleans, 6'7" tight end. I can see his face clear as day, but
New Orleans tight end.
Yeah, like 2 years ago.
Johnson?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Oh.
The 6'7", he's like an all-time great tight end.
Oh shit, yeah, he was like super high. He was like a basketball player. I mean, having a brief
all-time great tight ends, like Jimmy Graham.
There you go, Jimmy Graham.
My God, Jimmy Graham.
Of course.
And my worry was that Jimmy Graham, that he's studying Cole Kmet's development, and having him, you don't throw the ball to him. So now having Robert Tonyan that could catch touchdowns, he's not going to burn past anybody, but he's a reliable hand. I worry about that they want to play him more than they want to play Cole Kmet.
Yeah, but hopefully, I think,
man, I think they're going to open it up for both of them now.
I hope so. I really do.
Yeah. If anything, it'll be good for Fields. Like I think him and Cole Kmet had started getting a good connection.
Yep.
So hopefully they kind of keep that train going.
I already know the receivers and Fields are already meeting up. They're already going over stuff.
There's a picture of them all of them at the Bulls game. Yeah, Claypool, Fields, Mooney, and more at the Bulls game. All hanging out in a box. That's awesome. Yeah, it was really awesome. It was like the next day. Like it was like 2 days later. Like after the Moore trade, he's like already in Chicago hanging out with the guys.
Like, this is it, guys.
Yeah, stuff like that's good to see. I mean, but with Green Bay, I just feel like I titled this episode like winners and losers of the free agency. I mean, there's still a lot of free agency left. There's a lot of big moves, but I feel like Green Bay might be one of the biggest losers right now.
It has to be, right?
I was like, they've given, like, what do they have left? What do they have left?
They still have Rodgers. That's the problem, but they have no leverage.
Technically.
They have no leverage. He's not going to play for them. So
no. He already said it on the Pat McAfee show. He goes, "I'm gonna be a Jet."
Yeah, well, that's because they screwed him over. I mean, well, not really screwed him over. It's just like
they didn't give him everything he ever wanted.
They felt like
No, he's never gotten a first round.
they
talent.
moved.
Yeah.
No, that's true. They moved on without him basically while he was in the darkness and then came out. And he was even said himself, like we talked about, it's like 90, he said it himself, 90% of what he thought he came out, he was gonna retire. He really was. And then when he looked at all social media and everything that was coming and his phone was getting blown up, people asking him questions, and he's like, I don't know, dude. And then turns out that they were making moves to move him without even consulting him. So it was like, okay. So now he really wants to make to happen because he doesn't want to play for them anymore. Like basically, it was out of anger now.
Oh, that's the worst Aaron Rodgers you could have, and the best Aaron Rodgers the Jets could get. A pissed off Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
man, they're looking at some great stuff right there.
Yeah. But it's nothing new for Green Bay. They did it to Favre. You know, like Favre's like, I'm gonna play a little bit more. No, get the fuck out of here. We got the new shiny Aaron Rodgers back here. You know, now the only problem is they don't have a new shiny behind Aaron Rodgers. You know, so that's the problem. Unless they really think Jordan Love is like some hidden talent, I don't know.
I don't know if they even know that because they're not putting talent around him either, and they're getting rid of him. I feel like they're tanking. I honestly believe the Green Bay Packers this season are trying to tank. When you look at them. They can't get anything. They really need. Alan Lazard is gone. Robert Tonyan is gone. They have no idea what Jordan Love can do. They have no leverage for this Aaron Rodgers stuff. So they might not even get a first round pick for a guy who is probably a top 7 quarterback to ever play football. And if he wins, just say he wins 2 titles walking out the door. He's a top 5 all time quarterback. And probably the most talented all. That's what's walking out the door. You know,
what are you tanking for? Marvin Harris? Like
I think
Caleb Williams, I don't think is
maybe they know that Jordan Love is not the guy. Maybe they know that.
Yeah.
Everyone says he's looking good, and we only saw a small sample. He looked good. I don't know. I'm really excited to see what he does. And I know you guys don't want to hear this, but I don't really care.
I'm excited to see because I think he's gonna do terrible. So I'm excited to see it.
I hope he does good. I really do, because he's been dragged through dirt, and it's just like it's the same situation all over again with them, you know. And for Jordan Love to get drafted in wasn't he in the same draft class as Burrow?
Yep, Joe Burrow.
So
it's Joe Burrow.
Like, I feel like Herbert. That class. There's other people. There's other
Justin Herbert. There's like there
was a good handful. Wasn't Jalen in that one too?
Yep, Jalen's in that one.
So there was a good handful of QBs that were in there that we witnessed and we saw that were productive. He's the only one that we haven't seen, and I've only seen a little bit of him.
I did think he was overdrafted. I always thought when Jordan Love was drafted in the first round, I thought he should have been an early second round talent. That's why I always thought. But that tells you that he still has talent, because Jalen Hurts was an early second rounder. So I mean, I'm not trying to tell you that he does not have talent. I just don't think that the Green Bay Packers are a team. They're used to having to build around somebody. They just are used to having the all-time greats. It's a double-edged sword when you've had all-time greats for the last 30 years. You know, so you always have all these great guys. You know, so you didn't have to build around them. But now you have to build around these guys, and you don't know how to do it because you just expect them to be great, just to be great. So I don't know.
He came. They drafted him. And they expected, like, it was like almost as if they were gonna move on.
Yeah.
So moving on from him, and then so that's it. It's been that way.
Boys, what's up?
So, it's kind of interesting to see if it actually happens, because I want to see how he does, and I hope he does good. Honestly, for his career's sake, to be honest. Hopefully, he just gets out of Green Bay regardless, even after.
That's what I really want to see.
But
that's what I think is going to happen if he plays well enough to get out.
I just want him to succeed.
He can succeed anywhere but Green Bay, because you know I hate Aaron Rodgers, but I hate Green Bay way more.
Well, see, I want him to succeed.
Stop talking about
for a different reason.
When you talk about Love specifically.
So as when I said Jordan Love, I feel like it was talented. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I always said that. I feel like he has the talent. He's the talent like Jalen Hurts, that type of talent. But when you have a talent that's not just transcendent talent, you need to build around them. And I don't think Green Bay will build
No,
around
they
him.
won't because they don't get freaking receivers. And Marvin Harrison's
Yeah.
coming out next year. And that if they
Yeah.
tank because of that,
I
I would do anything I can from Marvin
but
Harrison.
the problem is Jordan is not going to want to do that.
You know, I don't think it matters though, because I think this division might be so good. I honestly believe that
They're going to be last.
Might be turned around.
They're going to be last.
Flip
the Lions are getting better. The Bears have done pretty good in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
In you know,
Minnesota has the best receiver in the game, but I feel
yeah,
like
but you need more than just that. Though. You need more than just
Dalvin Cook is starting to wear down. I wouldn't be surprised if Dalvin Cook was a trade piece at this point right now, because Madison's been more productive for the last 3 years.
Well, Cook, look, I've been saying this for years. Running backs don't really last that long. We are coming to a point where you start seeing all the greats deteriorating. We've been watching Zeke go downhill for the last couple seasons. Henry is almost there. Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara is hilarious.
It's like they're either having some type of issue that can't get him on the field, or it's because they haven't really been productive. And it's not even their faults half the time, because the team doesn't build around them or doesn't have the right pieces for them to be a complementary back to the offense. I mean, outside of injury, whatever, but it's just, you just see that these top first rounders aren't being what we used to see.
This is so few first rounders now. That's the problem is. No one wants to.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Round pick for the
first 2-3 rounds.
Yeah,
running backs.
So them boys. Yeah, we did talk about Brandon Cooks earlier. That's the first thing we talked.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Barely. We touched upon it. We didn't really give our actual opinions. We just kind of said
it was a great trade for 2023 fifth and a 2024 sixth. Dude, that's
the man's productive, and we've seen it wherever the freak he goes. He's just productive.
I feel like he doesn't have a lot of mileage on him either. You know, when you go up to the abyss and you're not, getting hit all the time, I feel like he can still be good. You know, and now we're talking about him being a third receiver on the team. Well, I tell you this much: I'm not getting Odell Beckham Jr. if I'm the Cowboys. I'm good. I'm good now.
Him and Michael Gallup are going to be very dangerous now. I mean, on top of what CeeDee Lamb already is, it's going to be interesting with Gallup and.
Do you think the Cowboys sneak in and grab one of those top tight ends this year, first round?
I think so. Why not? There's 7 of them.
But that's what I'm saying.
First round? No.
I'm saying
first round they should. I don't think they should.
If Bijan is gone, do they go tight end? Bijan could be going. He could definitely be going at 16.
No, I think you go interior line. I don't think you go tight end. I think you get
early,
one of those interior guys.
Even John Michael Smith, who's really ranked as the number 1 center right now, is still only ranked at number 35, 36. That'll be a big reach. At least I feel like it'll be a big reach for that. It's better to trade.
I was thinking more like.
I was like, the Dallas don't need a center, do they? Or are you just getting him just to get him?
I was thinking freaking Osiris.
I know you're talking about
dude from Florida.
Yeah.
Is it Terrence or Torrance or that Osiris? Someone like that.
I just don't think they need him right now, right?
Look it up. Why not? They're up there. Yeah, but they're getting old. Smith is always getting hurt, and even as young as he is. But do they still have the old Smith there too, or did he leave?
He's still there.
Both of them get hurt, man.
Yeah, but I mean, left tackles, guards get hurt. That's just what happens.
I just feel like they should still look at the line. That's just, I don't know. Either that or I don't know. I just if Bijan goes there, they have a really good chance, and it would not surprise me if they get Bijan first round.
I mean, if you go out Osiris Torrance, Osiris Torrance can get you. You can get him late in the second round, I think. I think he'll still be there.
I don't think he's going to escape the first.
I think you can, because when you're talking about guard,
he won't escape the first. He's going to get drafted first.
We'll see.
Yeah. But them boys saying go Bijan or interior D lineman.
This is what I'm thinking. I don't think your O line is going where you're going to go. I think you're going to go defensive tackles, where I think that's the heart of the draft. That's what you're looking for more than anything. Especially being the Bears, I've been looking at the defensive tackles for everything, and they're pretty deep this year. I mean, there's probably 12 defensive tackles that are going to be drafted in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah,
I mean,
wow.
We're talking about. I mean, these guys, this D line stuff is serious.
It's probably the most looked at in this draft, and we haven't had a pretty cool draft class since the Nick Bosa one.
Yeah,
because wasn't Myles Garrett in that same one too?
Oof,
was it Bosa?
Don't talk about Myles.
Damn,
Garrett.
really?
Myles Garrett is the truth.
No, I want to talk about Myles Garrett. And I'll talk about Myles Garrett all I freaking want.
Dude, he is so good.
Tell me not to talk about Myles Garrett. Get out of here, bro.
And he scares me, man. Every time I think I get flashbacks to Myles Garrett, and I see him sacking the fields again, or picking him up and throwing him down, like just destroying our offensive line. Yes, he was destroying. He destroyed us. He is literally the best defensive end in the NFL. I've been saying that for 3 years.
You're just arguing with yourself. Nobody said anything negative about Myles Garrett.
I'm not about being negative. I just don't want to talk about it. He scares me.
You're why? Like, who cares? He's the best D line in the him and Max Crosby are the best D ends ever.
I honestly, Myles Garrett, I feel like he was made in a lab. I don't even think he's real. like if he's a creative player, literally, it doesn't make any sense.
Straight out of Madden.
I said the boys were saying
it was a 2017 class.
Said Detroit, Chicago, Minnesota, Green Bay will be in that order. NFC North finishes this year. Detroit first, Chicago, then Minnesota, then Green Bay. I see exactly the same way. I think Detroit beats Chicago by a game. I think Chicago beats Minnesota by a game. I think Green Bay probably gets 6 wins. I think it's going to be just like that. And then he said, Minnesota's been trying to move Dalvin all off season. They should.
Makes sense. Yeah.
They should.
Yeah, get something for him.
Go ahead. I want Eckler.
They signed Addison so quickly too.
Yeah. I want Eckler. Don't get me wrong. I want the Bears to get Eckler. But would it not be smart for them to go ahead and just trade with the Chargers? Let's just swap our guys. He's a pass catcher. He's a better. He's more reliable. I think they might be better off in each other's team. Personally, that's just don't get me wrong. I want Eckler, but I think that might be good for them to make. It'll be a good move for them to make. And then you have Madison, who gets all the tough yards anyway. It'll be a better move for them, personally. So I think when you add Cooper trade in for last year, basically swapping Amari Cooper for Cooks, but paying him paying an extra 6 is net loss for them. Their cap hits are essentially the same. That's probably true. They probably should have held on to Amari Cooper. They didn't realize how important he might have been.
Yeah,
I think that's a very good point.
Yeah.
What did they give up for or what did they get for Amari? Because I don't remember. Or did they didn't just release him? No, they got.
No, I just don't think they signed him again.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Let him.
I think they let him walk.
I think Amari got him a 5th. This is what I thought. I thought Amari was a trade for a 5th or something.
That was, I can't remember. What I'll look it up right now, but
that's a trade.
Was it?
Was it for
last year? Cleveland sent a 22 5th round and swapped 22 6th round picks with Cowboys to acquire a 4-time Pro Bowler.
The 5th, yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically,
basically a 5th
almost the exact same. So
yeah.
So I think Dallas goes Bijan, and if he's there, they go with interior D line. He's not there. So like someone like what Roy from LSU or Benton from Wisconsin, someone like that. I mean, Brees might be there, but I think Brees might be gone. Brees might be gone by the time Cowboys pick.
Breesy?
Yeah, Breesy. You've been talking about him for a while.
I like Brian Breesy. I think I'm the only one that likes him.
I think he might be gone. I think he's someone I can see someone picking up at 14, 15.
He's 6'5", almost 300 pounds, man. Like, and he's actually pretty quick for his size, dude. Like
4'8", 40. You know,
I like.
Well,
I'm not talking about like his 40 or I'm talking about like when he's in the trenches. Like watching him is he's quick with his hands and his legs. Like he gets past the line. I like Brian Breesy. I really do.
Clemson is always a good place to see. Their defense has been good for a long time. So
they always come out with great linebackers.
Great defensive line. Their defensive line, 2 years ago was full of pros. So that's why I'm not doubting you. I don't think he's a game-changing defensive tackle because there's two different types of defensive tackles. You have the ones who Gary was 27, also was 29.
No, keep going, man.
But I feel like you have three technique who clogs up and takes double teams, and you have the three technique who applies pressure. And I think Breesy's more of a applied pressure and not the double team take up, because once again, when you're interior lineman and you're 6'6", sometimes that actually goes against you because you're taller. So you lose the leverage. So those double teams sometimes can get after you. So you have to apply the pressure. I think it might be better to be 6'2" to be a 3 technique. When you're 6'6", almost bump you out to defensive end in the 3-4.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion on that one. So
it's changing now, though. It's changing.
No, you're right. Those defensive tackles are more powerful and shorter.
Same with the DNs. Only they're
faster.
Lighter.
Yeah, they're lighter.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're not getting those 315 pound guys. You're not getting those Julius Peppers guys who's a freak of nature, but you're not getting the guys who are 6'6", 6'7", 315. They're moving to left tackle, and you're getting these smaller guys who are 6'5", 245, like little power forwards from basketball at your defensive end. Your edge rushers now.
So Kadani reminded me of the 2019. That was the class I was looking for defensive tackle or D lineman. That was in the same year. So not only Nick Bosa came out, Quentin Williams came out that year. Then you had Ed Oliver. I don't know if you guys know who that is. Christian Wilkinson came out that same year.
Okay.
Dexter Lawrence, like Jeffrey Simmons also was that same year. A lot of these defensive guys came out in line. That was a fun year. This might be another year where that D line comes out and a lot of these big time playmakers come out. I don't know. It's just been, it seems so long ago too, but it was only 2019. There's so much has happened.
4 years, man. 4 years. Yeah.
It's crazy. Max Crosby was in that same year too. Who else was that?
He would have been drafted higher if he didn't have the issues he was going through.
Yeah, but it just that was the year of all these D linemen coming out. I think this is going to be another year like that. But of course, we have to see how their careers go. Like, I can't talk about that the following year or the next year. Like, I'd say like 3-4 years from now, I would say, remember in 2023 when all these guys like Nolan Smith and Anderson came out and just balled out. Like, it's just. But that year, 2019.
But I feel like that's every year when you really start looking at these drafts. Defensive line is like the most solid position. You don't get a lot of busted defensive line because you see if someone has the heart and the motor. You can tell, and you can also tell when someone doesn't have that motor.
You recognize the good ones where the bad ones just kind of weed out because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree.
So you kind of just forget about
we saw Jadeveon Clowney, and we knew he didn't have the motor, and we tried to talk ourselves into it, like, well, he's an explosive. And you had to talk yourself into him, and we see in the NFL, he has all the talent, but he's not a guy you can rely on. So it's almost like you should believe your eyes with defensive line. Yeah, if they have the measurables, just get them. Just get them. That's just what it is. And it's also weird because now the defensive line, you have defensive ends, you have defensive tackles, and you have edge rushers. So it's like you have 3 different positions now for defensive line. Like you could be all type of different.
D end's done. That I'm just like it's just
defensive ends are the taller tackles. The taller tackles,
but it's no longer a thing now. It's no longer a thing now. It seems to be like transition. It's just even Marcus Davenport's a freaking edge now. Like it's just like
Nolan Smith, linebacker edge. Like it's crazy. This is what you're gonna get now.
But it's all good. So
carry on, comments. Do you think secondary still needs work at safety for Dallas, despite the Gilmore trade?
I mean, it doesn't hurt to get somebody for the future. If you get yourself a young rookie now, and you get taught a whole year by Gilmore, and then Diggs is still like Quinn is a very good defensive coach, and I know this because I've seen it like while I was in Dallas, not just within Dallas, but then with Atlanta. But then he is a horrible offensive or a head coach.
Head coach, yeah.
But for defense, I knew he was gonna make something like out of that defense, and so far he's been doing pretty good. I don't see why not.
I'm surprised that no one signed Adrian Amos yet, and I'm saying Adrian Amos specifically for Dallas because he's basically a third linebacker being walked up in that type of defense. He is such a solid tackler. He's the guy that makes your other safety better, and he's available because Green Bay still hasn't signed him, and I don't know what the hell people are waiting on. That's the guy you need to be getting. And for a team that's trying to win now, he's the one. You can get him on a 3-year contract, 3-year, $27 million contract, $25 million contract, and the defense would be set, done. They have all the leadership. You won't be able to throw them. People will be afraid to throw the ball in the middle of the field. I think that's the one piece that I would love for them to have. That and a strong defensive tackle, and that defense is set.
And then they're talking about getting Bobby Wagner.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Like in addition to all of that, like it's just like if that happens, like I'm telling you, Dallas is trying to make that push, and nobody in their schedule scares them. Nobody. It don't care. I don't care about the Giants. I don't care about the Eagles. I don't care about the damn Washington Commanders either. Who I really care about, if I'm a Dallas Cowboy and I'm in that organization, the only team I'm really worried about is the freaking 49ers. Because that seems to be the only issue they have. And that's typically what they're working on is what is stopping us from continuing. And every year after year, is damn 49ers. That's the team they're trying to beat. Everybody else
49ers is making there somehow. It doesn't matter what's happening.
Yeah.
But it is because the best part of Dallas is the defensive line, right? And when you have a great offensive line, that kind of just negates it, right? And then you become a regular defense, and that's why I say that they need that safety that's going to come and lay some wood, So now you have two playmaking corners, right? And you have someone the safety that's going to look, and then you have a ball hawk safety. That really changes the whole thing. So it doesn't matter what's going on, with the defensive line getting negated. Now you can't just throw it to the tight end because they have the guy who's going to be able to cover the tight end. So I think that's the last piece that they really need. And then Dak just needs to be Dak.
I still believe in Ferguson and Henderson.
I think I'm telling you, it's that laying the wood piece for the tight end.
How do you think they're gonna be?
Even when Schultz was hurt, they still were productive though.
No, I'm not talking about losing the tight end, but I'm talking about having that safety
to shut down tight ends.
That shuts down.
Oh yeah.
You
know what I'm saying? Like I think that the other team's tight end, because what happens, they go against San Francisco specifically. George Kittle kills them every year because they can't defend. They just can't, so you need someone who's going to be able to do that. If you look at Green Bay's defense, the reason Green Bay's defense was so good is because Adrian Amos held it together in the middle of the field. They have and allow the corners to go ahead and be ball hawks because he's always there. He's the standard. He's the one. You don't have to worry about them getting behind you because I'm here. And I feel like that's a really good piece. Wherever he goes, that team's going to be 10 times better.
Mm-hmm.
With the offense, though, real good with Dallas. So their wide receiving core is probably, we can argue like it's probably one of the best in the leagues now. With everyone they have. I'm trying to think of who else.
Number one. I don't know if CD Lamb is really a true number one. That's my only question.
It's weird that we're asking that because I've been asking that.
He's good. Yeah, he's good.
Not last year, but the year before that, because he would have to prove it last year, and it was just like he has the tools and everything he can be. It's just like, is it the offense or does he need more? What does he need? Because I think he can be, but he's still productive. And I feel like that's why he is.
Yeah, but when he had Amari Cooper, he was even more productive. When you have that other guy that can take the double team or take the top off, or someone that you have to bracket, that makes CeeDee Lamb unbeatable. And I feel like he might need that, and that's why I wouldn't be surprised if DeAndre Hopkins is still an option.
He did a lot. Hold on, no, he did just fine last year though. I think last year was his best year.
I feel like
did pretty good.
He had very good numbers. I feel like when the chips are down and you needed something from him all the time, that he didn't always pop off like he should.
Really?
A number one receiver is when you throw the ball, it didn't matter who the hell's there. I feel like, he's just not that guy. He's not the number one. I don't know.
You watching what I'm watching?
Yeah.
I feel like when I think about number one, Justin Jefferson is the number one, right? In my opinion, there's only the 5 number ones in the entire league. Honestly, like a real true number one that you can't guard. It's unfair.
I think you're taking like who's number ones, and then you're taking like the best of the best. You're like, here's our guys that you could throw the ball up and they'll catch it no matter what. And those guys are in a league of their own. Like they're like,
but that's the difference between being a great. That's being to do a D.
But that's being like one of the best S-tier ever.
He's not S tier. I don't throw him in S tier yet.
He's not. He's because he's just.
JJ.
Oh no, JJ.
No. Lamb is a number one. He's not in that next level of like where Hopkins was years ago and where JJ's at now.
He's not, and it's just because.
But he's a good number one.
He's just not that guy. He plays the wrong position to be that guy.
He also has like a plethora of quarterbacks. Even though he's been on the same team, Dak has been hurt, and then they roll out the next guy. It's been like that for years. He's only been, and it's crazy. He's only been in the league for freaking 3 years. He hasn't had Dak a whole healthy season. It's crazy.
It's very true. I just feel like he's more of a Z. He's not that guy that's going to be able to just throw him out there and say,
how much of the running game is going to affect the wide receivers now? Because now they got rid of Elliott, so now they're playing like, who's the guy this week? That's gone. So now they just got Pollard right now. If he's healthy. If he's healthy, they got to draft somebody.
Yeah, getting another running back, whether it's Bijan or somebody, they're going to get another running back. And if it's not Bijan, these other running backs are pretty good pass catchers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've noticed about this class that almost all of them can catch. It's crazy. There's like 1 or 2 that have issues, but almost all of them have a decent or higher pass catching.
Like all very much like Pollard though. Is that weird to say? Pollard is a very good pass catcher. He's a decent runner inside, but he's not that hard. 3 yards that I need. He's not that runner.
Yeah, I think that they're all pretty good. Just not. I don't think they're like Pollard. I think Pollard is kind of like the closest one I feel like is like kind of like Pollard is maybe A-Chain. I think A-Chain is probably close to it. I think you're making a number one top tier X receiver, and that's not necessarily in the league anymore. AZ or Y. can be number one now.
Why? I don't know if a Y can.
Nah, I wouldn't put a Y.
Because A really can't either. A Z can. I do agree. A Z and an X can. But you need to be your number one and to be able to do it. You have to be able to take the top off. Also, I mean, and you need to have that number one coverage on the outside. And those are the things I'm saying. But don't get me wrong, I would take CD Lamb 10 times out of 10 just on my team. But
because he's productive, he's gonna like get you what you need, but he's not. He's such a hard receiver to like.
You see, that's what I'm saying. The number one. That's what bothers me saying number one.
Here's the thing is like even on a fantasy perspective, like even on that, okay, you don't know what you want to pay for him because the owner himself is gonna want
a number one type of
first or a first, because he's only 23 years old.
Yep.
But then you're like, I don't want to give you 2 first. I'll give you a first, but I'm not giving you anything else because
first thing we're talking about a fourth. Just throwing something else in you.
Because the owner themselves is going to want more than just a first. But you don't want to pay more than just a first because because
he's not that dude. He's not that number one guy where you look at him and you're like, we can't stop him. He's going to get 20 points no matter what the hell you do. He's not that.
Well, even like what Martin's saying, like in a fantasy wise, like he's not a 2 first kind of guy. And there's how many wide receivers, like Brian said, maybe five or so that are 2 first wide receivers. But he's definitely a first, and maybe you throw something else random in there, like you said.
That's the thing, though. What is that random thing? And it's going to be up to the other individual. Like, there's some people out there that still think he's 2 first rounders, and I'm like, I don't know about that anymore. He's been in league for 3 seasons. Yeah, I get it. He's gotten you 1,000+ yards, but so has DJ Moore. So has Terry McLaurin.
Exactly.
Now those guys get you 1,000 yards, just like CeeDee Lamb. But again, you're not paying a whole crap ton for DJ. Well, maybe it's going to change now because new quarterbacks, new systems, for some of those guys. But they're almost in the same tier, almost, because they get you that 1,000 yards. And then the double touchdown things is not really their type of a deal either. I mean, McLaurin, maybe, but it's like you don't know if it's gonna happen because Terry McLaurin is probably of all those guys is probably the best one in my opinion.
Talent wise, I mean, he coming out of wide receiver university, he is probably the most talented.
But the problem is these guys aren't giving you double-digit touchdowns.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what we want.
Yeah,
they're all in single digits. They're giving you the 1,000 yards, but it's like you don't know. Like when they get in the end zone, it's like, oh crap, what is this? I've never been here before.
Here's like I believe T. Higgins is better than CeeDee Lamb. That's where I'm saying.
And that's saying a lot. And there could be arguments. There could be arguments where people are like, no, absolutely not.
But T. Higgins is a 2 on that team, but he's a number 1 receiver.
He's putting up the same. You realize he's probably putting up the same amount of numbers though.
But but that's why I'm saying. But that tells me that CeeDee Lamb is not this top tier number 1 receiver.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
He is the one there.
He's the one there. It's hard to see. You can call him. When I say number 1 receiver, he's the guy who you can't do anything about. Stephon Diggs, on that team. No matter, you can't do anything. He's gonna get the ball. You're not gonna stop him. You're just not. When DeAndre Hopkins was that dude, you weren't going to stop him. You just tried to make sure he doesn't score all the touchdowns.
Yeah. But it's crazy that you name the names I've mentioned, like CeeDee Lamb, Terry McLaurin, T. Higgins, and DJ Moore.
Yep.
They're all the same dude.
They're all the same dude.
They are. It's
That's exactly what they are.
Anybody can look at the numbers, and I know this because I've looked at all these guys for potential trade, and I realized I already have 1 or 2 of them, or another league or something like that. Like I'm like, what am I getting here? And then am I really paying a first for these guys, or 2 first? No, absolutely not. I'll give you a first because they're still young, but that's about it.
Yep.
I'm not giving you anything else.
And that's where they lie. But there are other guys where you will give whatever it took.
Oh yeah,
Jamar
right
Chase
now,
is there. You give
Jamar
whatever
and JJ, like you're gonna have to pay the farm for, and that's just cause. But other than that, like
Cup last year. I mean, before he got hurt.
Wow, look, I warned people not to spend too high on Cooper Kupp. I think we like not
that was a 1 year thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's good, but like being that next level.
No, but you weren't paying like
that.
there were some crazy trades for him, and then if you made the trade,
everything.
what happened?
Yep,
he didn't even play for you, and that's not his fault. But you lost all that asset. Now it comes to the draft of those picks that you just traded away.
And now they're
still gonna affect you. It's still gonna affect you. Like it's almost a 2-year deal when you make a move for these guys in Dynasty. Or even the real NFL. It just
I'm looking at the stats between T. Higgins and CD Lamb. So Higgins had 110 targets, 75 receptions. CD Lamb had 156 targets and 107 receptions. CD Lamb 1359 yards and T. Higgins 1042 yards. So T. Higgins still has Chase.
With another number one,
so he put up 1,000 yards with still having Chase. And then
imagine if he had another 40 receptions.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. They're in the same guy.
T. Higgins had 7 touchdowns, and then CD Lamb had 9 touchdowns. So right there,
same guy.
And then yards per catch, 13.8 with T. Higgins and 12.7 with CD Lamb. So yeah, they are, but they're both that number. To me, they're both that number one. But they're not in that next level of like Chase and JJ kind of thing. But I get what you're saying.
They're 1A's to me. They're
not
ones. The ones are Justin Jefferson. There's Tyreek Hill.
Those are just completely shut down kind of guys. Yeah.
AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp is right there on the edge. DeAndre's getting a little old. Those are number ones. I'm on.
Yeah.
Debo is better than all those other guys we mentioned. So that's where it's like. That Debo, DK Metcalf, all those guys, these are all the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's really only 8 number ones in the league, like 7, 8 number ones in the league. And everyone else is like, maybe. There's only
you're number 2, but you can play at number 1. Is that kind of like that?
Or you're a number 1, but you're not the most productive guy in the world. If you have a bad quarterback, you're not going to be able to do anything. It don't matter what you put Devontae Adams. He was just, it didn't matter who was throwing in the ball. It just didn't matter. I got it.
See, and does that make things like Cook and more valuable because they had crappy quarterbacks and they still put up 1,000 yards? It was like, wait, how'd you get that number with, like DJ Moore had who throwing him the ball? Same thing in over in, same thing in with
and he's still, and which is crazy.
Still.
Like
DJ Moore has another level, I think, that we're going to see this year.
That he hasn't been able to reach it because
his ceiling, man.
Yeah,
like we probably saw a little glimpse of it. Not was it last year, the year before that? When was Sam Darnold's first year there? The year before that, right?
The year before that,
yeah.
And
that was maybe a glimpse of what we saw his ceiling to be. Those first 4 weeks when they were together, that might have been the ceiling, something. But I don't think that was the best because clearly I know, like. I would say there's a lot more better quarterbacks, and I'm pretty sure everybody would agree with me that if Carolina had ever gotten a better quarterback there in the last couple of seasons, the Panthers would be the number 1 in that team.
They'll be the number 1 in that division.
Or the division, the division.
Yeah. If what's called never got hurt, if Cam Newton never got hurt, they would have been number 1 in that division, and DJ Moore would have been a household name. DJ Moore would have been Steve Smith Jr., a senior.
Yeah.
That's what he would have been. He would have been that guy that you can't stop. And when I read that list, he would have been number 7 on that list. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what he would have been.
Yeah. I'm looking at his stats, from he came in the league in 2018, yard 798, then 1175, 2020 was 1193, 2021 was 1157, and 2022 was 888. So like even his first year was a pretty good year for a rookie. 788.
Yeah, he's productive. The problem is he has no
Yeah.
When you have
7 touchdowns, 888 yards, 63 receptions.
That was his worst year.
But that was this current year. That was his last year. But he had no one throwing the ball.
Second to worst because his rookie year wasn't that great either. Like it was all right. It was good.
It was okay. He had 2 touchdowns, but he only had 55 receptions. Or
he wasn't thrown out there like an every
he wasn't
now and then. Yeah.
He definitely made his name the second year. But I mean that's why it's like, do people like him and Cook have that another level? Like, they're number well, DJ Moore's more than number one than Cook, but
he's younger, and that's what makes him special. So I was looking at this list, top wide receivers in the NFL. Tell me where you think CeeDee Lamb lands. Give me a number where you think he landed.
I think he's gonna be ranked somewhere around 30s.
It's higher.
Wait, like from last season though. Hold on.
This is
top 100 of what?
This is top 25 wide receivers in the game today.
Okay, so we're taking the stats of last year, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say he's not on that list. I think he's gonna be. Hold on, he did break 1,000 though.
Yep. No, I did be on that list. I'll put him like somewhere like I was gonna say like 18, 20.
Late 20s.
He's 17.
No shit.
He's 17. And you know who's around him? T. Higgins, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, and Mike Evans. That's his tier. And those guys are number one A's. You know, like they're number ones, but are they really number ones? They're that level.
Yeah.
Number one on the team, but when you talking about number ones, are they really number ones?
Yeah.
The people that are ranked ahead of them: Chris Godwin, Chris Olave, Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf, Devontae Smith, Debo, Tyler Lockett, DeAndre Hopkins, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, AJ Brown, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, and JJ. You know what I'm saying? When you have that many people that are,
you can see the level getting.
Are you number one or not number one? You know, that's what it's like I'm putting slander on CeeDee Lamb. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying that he's not on that level.
And he doesn't have the excuse of having a bad quarterback. You know what I mean? So
yes, he does.
Wait, he did.
Yes, he does.
Well,
when has Dak completed a whole season?
That's true. Yeah,
that's why that is his main argument, and he could still use that for now.
Yeah.
But until Dak plays the whole season, he can no longer use it. So as of now, Ben DiNucci is playing for the Seattle Sea Dragons, the XFL. That was his best next guy besides freaking Andy Dalton and freaking who else was who was the other janitor back there? Look, it was just a bunch of dudes
last year that won all those games.
It's just
yeah.
Like, I can't say that he's no different from DJ Moore because he's had different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Cooper T. Higgins has had Joe Burrow this entire time. Terry McLaurin has different quarterbacks. The only guy there that I see out of those four, T. Higgins has been productive with a really good quarterback, but he's not the number one because Jamar is.
Exactly.
If Jamar got hurt, Higgins would be amazing. But it's just the thing is like those other three have not had a consistent, decent QB.
I won't say this. Wait till T. Higgins gets off the Bengals because you know what? Next year they're going to have to get rid of him. That's just what it is because they're not going to have enough money to pay him. You can't pay him. They should have traded him this year. The Bears should have got Higgins.
Cooper Rush. Thank you.
That's their problem.
That other guy. That's the other janitor.
They should have traded
what's up, Jonathan?
They did not trade him. They're going to live to regret that.
Yes,
he's going to be on another team next year. He's going to blow shit out the water. He's only 22. He'll be 25, getting an unbelievable contract. And for some team, and someone's going to be in love. They gave us this guy.
Yeah. I mean, he's young, he's great, and he's got playoff experience, like deep playoff experience. Yeah. Like, I mean, he's got everything that that people want in a wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna I don't know where he's gonna go, but he's just gonna make a team automatically better.
Yeah,
and he's gonna get a buttload of money.
It's just the thing is like you put Higgins somewhere else in other teams where they desperately need a running back or a receiver. He's gonna be the best one there. Like and we've seen him play with other better talent.
Yeah,
it's just these 4 receivers are just so interesting to me because as of late they're just the same guy numbers wise. But we know
someone told me that T. Higgins could be Justin Jefferson, I would not say they're wrong. That's what I'm saying about T. Higgins. If someone told me if he was on the team that he could be Justin Jefferson, I would not be saying they're wrong. I'm just like, maybe. If they told me that if someone told me CeeDee Lamb is Justin Jefferson, I'd be like, no, you're wrong.
You must be a Cowboys fan.
And that's why I put CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb behind Higgins, personally.
No, I agree with you.
That's
I agree
where the line.
Yeah.
But the line is once again, we're talking about all these guys that are good. We're talking about good receivers. Like we're talking, but you rank it good. It's like me saying you're the worst. It's not really you're not the worst. You're still the best on the team. You're still all pro or Pro Bowl. You're just not an all pro. You're good. It's not great.
Yeah. Well, you said like that whole nother level. Like there's that top 10, which is those guys, and then there's the 11 through 20, which is where CeeDee Lamb and Higgins kind of sit at right now. So yeah. So
and it's just like
100%.
I don't even know how the hell we got to talk about these 4 receivers.
I don't know
because he brought up
started off. Yeah.
And why is it that the Cowboys are always the freaking tired of that? Cowboys always somehow make it a long podcast for us, man. Like it's just because it's because they're right here, and it's just like they
should be up here.
3
they should be the best
or something that can elevate them to here, right? But yet somehow, some way, when they're here, we always judge them here.
Yeah,
and that's the issue. And we know for the past 30 years they can be here. It's just they're not. And this is why we always hear, "How about them Cowboys?" Every year, and it's hilarious.
That's so good. It's so right.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the Chicago Cubs thing. It's like, oh, next year's our year. It's like next year we'll get that missing piece. It was like there's always a missing piece with Cowboys.
Like the Bills.
I was gonna say like the
Bills year. Next year will be the Bills year.
Oh man, that Gridiron Heights was hilarious.
They wanted OBJ and got Cooks. Hey, yeah, that's fine.
They don't want to pay $20 million.
You know what? And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I don't think look, as much as people like OBJ, I don't like OBJ's personality. That I think he's a toxic dude on the sideline. We've seen it before. He has a short fuse and he gets injured a lot. So I don't know. Honestly, I'm okay with that. I really think it's okay.
What if I'm just throwing it out there?
He can't stay healthy, dude. And then when he comes back, he throws a crap to me. I don't know.
OBJ goes to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are not making any move at wide receiver. Just saying.
That'll be good. Because Andy Reid will not put up with it.
And Mahomes ain't gonna put up with it. Who are you gonna go to? You gonna go to a better quarterback? There is no better quarterback.
It's the same argument I had for Kadarius Toney. They're like, "Oh, I don't know if he's gonna be." I'm like, "No, it's a great fit because yes, we know Kadarius Toney is not football focused. He's more concerned about being Young Joker than he is being Kadarius Toney. Young Joker is more important in his life because he wants to put out albums and stuff. And here's the thing. We're like, oh, but he never did in Giants. He was never respected or whatever. He didn't like being there. I'm like, yes, but you had Daniel Jones and the ball. But if you put me in a room, if you put me in a hallway, and I had one room with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, and I said this before, and Jones and the ball in the other room, and they both offered me jobs, I'm gonna, of course, you're gonna go to Reid and Mahomes. They have Super Bowl experience. They're more disciplined, and they can probably they're like, hey, look, we've been to the show. We don't need you. We don't need you here. If you want to come, you better do by our rules, and we're disciplined more than what they got. This is why Kadarius Toney fits there so well, because they know how to control like someone's attitude, because they don't need him if they didn't want to. That's how I feel like OBJ would be a good fit in the Chiefs, because it would be the similar situation. Anywhere else, I do not see the amount of respect anywhere else that the Chiefs would have in that same locker room.
They'll tell him, "You don't make it here, you make it nowhere." There's nowhere else
because he's getting there.
Yeah.
And I bring the Chiefs up because under losers this offseason, the Chiefs are like number one. You know, like they lost Orlando Brown Jr. They try to replace him with someone who's not as good. And Orlando Brown already wasn't good, you know, a pure left tackle. They haven't signed a court. They lost what's his name from the Steelers? Juju Smith-Schuster. Cole Hardman's still out there. You know, I mean, they got Kelsey, but that's it. They haven't done anything but keep Kelsey and know that they have 9 draft picks. So, but with signing OBJ, take him from a loser to a winner.
Yeah, and then that way we can see him in the locker room and with the trophy and a cigar after he did nothing.
After he did nothing.
Thank you, Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, right?
For showing us how good you are, even though you did nothing.
He said, "I did it." What did you do? I woke up.
I signed a paper. What did you do?
Yeah.
Get out of here, man.
All right, so I guess we talked about 2 losers. Green Bay seems like a loser. Kansas City seems like a loser. Is there any other team that you feel like is a loser in this offseason? Maybe
yes.
the Chargers.
Chargers.
The Chargers, yes, definitely the Chargers.
Especially after they're going to lose their running back.
That it's a potential, yeah, but it's the reason they have to do this is because of the cap space, and that's why they're shooting themselves in the foot right now. They have
Eagles.
Yeah,
no, they're able to re-sign their Pro Bowl. You know,
they just kept everybody, right?
They kept most people, and anyone who they lost, they had a backup for it.
Yeah. So
they're not
before
moves,
we brought the Eagles up, I'm like the cap room for the Chargers. Okay. I feel like they have enough cap and they're not doing anything with it. Like, didn't they just bring in Eric Kendricks, right?
Yep.
Good. Now what? You still have 16 million sitting there. Exactly. What are you gonna do?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? You're just waiting around. Everybody's getting picked up. What are you doing, man?
When your defensive line was in shambles, and you haven't done anything to fix it.
There's still time, but everybody's flying out the door like really quickly, and then I don't know. I feel like they need to do more, and otherwise they're just sitting here with all this cap that it's just. What do you save it for next year? I don't know. What are you doing? What are you doing?
They're looking at Justin Herbert and saying, "I have to pay him," and they're trying to figure out how to pay him, or they're worried about winning. You know, right now.
I don't know.
But they got Khalil Mack in there. They got, you know, they have a lot of talent if they stay healthy. So it's one of those things you just got to see.
Yeah, all I know is that loser wise, it kind of makes me think, like, even though those are the main ones I think about, like, here's teams that haven't really done much. Like, obviously I can't talk about anybody within the 9 million range, because they're either trying to get more cap or they were in negative before, so like they're getting in the positive era, but they just can't, and they still have to do their rookie contract still. So you know, the Browns, the Broncos, the Jets are kind of the guys that are just above 10.
Broncos are interesting. Broncos are interesting because they did a lot of moves.
Yes,
but
at the beginning, yes.
every move they made was a B-list guy.
Mm-hmm.
Am I the only one feel like McGlinchey, Powers? I mean, they lost Draymond Jones, lost Zach Allen. So I feel like they got B-list guys and lost some of the A guys. I mean,
Zach Allen could be interesting though. Zach Allen could be interesting. There's still some hope for him. He's learned a lot under J.J. Watt, so I'm keeping an eye on him.
But I think that's how you say about all of them, right? McGlinchey and Ben Powers and Zach Allen, they're all B-list guys that you're given the opportunity to. You haven't necessarily, won. You're not doing a great thing with them. You just, but it is the fact that they got Sean Payton, the big thing that makes them a winner.
Yeah.
I guess that's something you won't know until next year. But they got a tackle, they got a guard. We got these guys. I just don't know what they're going to be yet.
Mm-hmm.
You might look back.
A coach is like an immeasurable kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Even Braden, I like Zach Allen. So was I. I felt like he should have stayed.
Not for the money. Hey, you got to go with this is a business deal.
No, yeah, I know, but it just like on a personal perspective, I felt like he should have stayed. But exactly how you kind of felt. Like if you're gonna offer me more money to go take my talent somewhere else, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a business. It's a business thing.
Mm-hmm. I don't like what Miami did though.
Okay.
I don't.
I like Heineke. Right?
No, that was Atlanta.
That was Atlanta.
I don't like. Okay, yeah, they made the trade for Jalen Ramsey. Cool.
Hmm?
The issue, what I didn't like, is you went out and you brought back all your old used running backs.
They did do that. Yeah.
It just made no sense to me. Like this is the year. Like the only thing that could recover from that is getting one of these young running backs coming in, and I hope that's what they do.
Because it was Mike White.
Because any of these running backs can come in and actually do really well in that system, because a lot of these guys are going to get hurt. Like, I don't expect Moser to do 8 games. I don't expect Wilson to do that many games either. Like, it's just I think that any rookie running back you bring in, I think is going to be immediately make an impact. So I didn't like what they did there. But yeah, Mike White, as you mentioned before, so
which is a good piece. They needed that.
Yeah, because we don't even know if he was gonna. He's gonna survive the whole year.
Exactly. We don't know if he's gonna pass game 2.
Mm-hmm. They got David Long too.
One good hit.
He's interesting. I don't know. David Long seems like, I don't know. Tennessee was I don't know. He did good. But it's just like,
that's just what all Tennessee did well, right? I mean,
defensively, yeah.
Defensively, and they lost so many guys. Is that a loser? Because of everything you're trying to get rid of Derrick Henry. You lost a lot of guys on your defense.
Yeah.
You still got Ryan Tannehill as your guy. That's a loser, right? That's a big L.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think so. I've been out on him for years.
Clowney, he could go somewhere, but I feel like he's the type of guy that's gonna go like to the Patriots or something like that. Like, this is your last gasp, and your only chance is to go to Bill Belichick.
He was okay with the Browns because the other side was Myles Garrett. The bigger threat was Myles Garrett, so therefore they ran towards Clowney's side. His slow ass got him because they ran away from Garrett. Garrett produced the pressure, and it was just easier for Clowney to get to, which made him look really good.
It's funny because they're both
watch him suck this year.
They were touted as the same, and Myles Garrett is just.
Clowney was good when he was in Houston. That was it.
Coming out in the NFL draft, we thought Jadeveon Clowney could have been everything.
Yeah, but he did. He was all right with Houston, but after that, I
felt like he fell in love with himself. You know what I mean?
Fell in love with himself.
PFF isn't even a move. But I feel like I don't know. He's interesting to me. He's nothing like that really like, oh damn, that was a freaking fire move, right? nothing
Yeah.
like that says that to Dave, like about David Long to me. That's a good move, yeah. But we've seen linebackers go to Miami and they just die. Like they don't do much. I don't know.
I hear you. I agree.
We'll see what they do. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, it's still not over. I'm like, who? Let me look. Who's left, man?
There's
Like
not a lot left, guys. There's
Bobby
really
Wagner
not.
still
Bobby Wagner.
need to sign.
He's trying to decide what he's gonna do.
Yeah. Taylor Lewan, Leonard Floyd, Smith, Adam Thielen may or may not go somewhere. Shaquille Griffin, Yannick Ngakoue, that dude likes to change teams like his underwear. So Levante David, did they
re-signed him.
okay,
Didn't they? I believe
I
they
think
re-signed him.
so. Zach Cunningham can go somewhere and revamp his career. Dalton Schultz is kind of one I'm kind of interested in too. DJ Chark. I mean, obviously Bobby Wagner for me, like I mentioned. Adrian Amos, you mentioned him earlier. See,
I love him. He's some that's
someone might take
a good team and makes it a great team.
Yeah, someone might
Like
take a stab at Lenny.
That's Cincinnati. That's where he should go.
Lenny?
No, Adrian Amos.
No,
After losing their safety,
yeah,
getting a cheaper safety. And for a team that needs that leadership, that might be a really good move for them.
Mm-hmm. I still want to see where Matt Leonidas ends up. Let's see here. Matt Pryor, did the Colts sign him again?
I believe so. I think they re-signed him.
Okay. Jordan Phillips went back to the Bills. No, hold on. No, he didn't. Phillips, Poyer did. Phillips is not.
Yeah.
But there's going to be better talent like than him.
In the draft. So that's I think some of these guys are not going to get signed till after the draft.
Right. Quentin Jefferson, Jordan Phillips, they're not going to get re-signed until maybe after the draft. There's still some decent pieces. Like it's just like, you know, some of these teams aren't doing much. Like if Eckler ends up getting traded,
yeah, woo.
I would 100% expect them to go after J.D. McKissic. That's what I would expect.
Yeah,
but the thing is, J.D. McKissic is there now. If he gets signed tomorrow, then they're out. They have to rely on another rookie running back. Now, Joshua Kelly has stepped up and done what he needs to do.
I mean, but they could
because Isaiah Spiller was a nobody. Apparently, I don't know. It was just not. He just didn't meet their standards, or turns out he sucked. He was just a college guy. I don't know. If they're gonna go to the draft, they better hope it's the same amount of talent.
Maybe they're looking at Jahmyr Gibbs saying,
better hope he's the same amount of talent because we thought the same thing about Isaiah Spiller. This is what I'm talking about. We thought the same thing about Isaiah Spiller, and what happened?
Yeah, he never.
Is he a Trey Sermon? I don't know. We never really got to see it. The Chargers just said.
But I think we've seen more with Jahmyr Gibbs than we've seen from any of those guys. That guy, Jahmyr Gibbs, is something.
He's but something. Why is it that these rookie running backs go to the Chargers and they cannot find the guy? Why? What is it that they're doing there? Like, why do they just die there?
Scheme that's causing these problems. I don't know. That's a good question. That's actually a really good question.
That's what I want to know. Like, if Gibbs goes there and he doesn't play, then what are the Chargers?
You know it's them. Then you know it's the Chargers. If that's this, then you know it's
because
them.
I liked Isaiah Spiller coming in. I really did. And a lot of people were taking him like high in their drafts in fantasy football, like dynasty wise, they were taking him high. Top 5 picks. And he was just that good. And then turns like I'm almost scared of getting a Chargers rookie running back.
But isn't that what it is? It's all about fit for rookie running backs. If it's not a good fit, you won't do well. Just won't. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how good the team is. It's all about how it fits.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think about Foreman signing?
I loved it. As depressed as I was about losing David Montgomery, I was depressed. You saw me on Tuesday. I was a shade paler. And I was sad. Like I was.
He became a stereotypical Bears fan that he is, even though. And here's the thing: he got so mad and so sad that he said that the Bears were doing so bad at the free agency that
they're like the biggest winner.
You're the biggest baby I've ever seen. You guys got
seeing him
Walker
at the beginning of the
show.
show.
Edwards, you got Edmonds. You guys made a trade for more.
Hey,
we're having a horrible free agency. Blah blah blah. I'm like, shut up. You are such a baby. Shut up. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody likes you right now.
Thursday show was the best watching it because like Brian was so high on everything, and then by the end of the show, he's like, "We're the worst team in the world." He's
so negative
because we didn't get Brown. I think
it was so bad.
Yeah,
it was so bad.
Yeah, so Edwards and all these other guys. He's like, "Oh, we've had a horrible for like, damn, dude, like, screw you, guy."
It's funny. Like I took a step back and I was like, well, Orlando Brown.
Yeah, but that was off show. Like it was already too late. Yeah, cried and
the end of the show just angry.
I'm like, about later, like, all right, well, it wasn't that bad. And then we could trade back and get Paris if we get Paris, or get a right tackle. We can wait till the second round and get that right tackle out of Ohio State, which I like him, the big guy. It makes more sense that right tackle, and you can still get you a defensive tackle. And you can still get everyone you need. And I was like, yeah, first, second rounders are okay. And we have like 3 of them. Okay.
That's what I tried telling him on Tuesday. And he was
you know what I said? I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, no, he was still arguing with me. I'm like, man, he's just an ignorant as skip.
It was funny, man. It was so funny. I was watching it on replay, and just the face as it came in,
baby.
Man.
That's what he was.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was so funny, man. It was so funny.
Yeah. I was like, right for Friday, he's gonna go cry in the car. That's so mean. That was so bad.
He had already taken the headphones off. He's I'm out. I'm done.
And here's the thing: if me and Brian ever hung out, me and him would be like really. Like we would probably be like best friends because I would be like, there's a level of friendship where you just so mean to him because you love him so much or you don't care. Yep. I would let this man go out in the rain, cry by himself. I wouldn't give a care.
Taking pictures.
I would no. I was like, all right, bye. And then I would look at his half of the pizza or something. I would eat his shit too, and I'd be like, nope, sorry. You come back and you'd be more sad because there'd be no pizza and wings left because I would eat your portion. I'm like, sorry, I tell you, outside crying in your car.
It's so funny. That's what Marvin was doing. I met up with Marvin on Friday because we were watching the NCAA games, stuff at the bar at Hostings, and he was like, man, shut the fuck up. I don't care about this. It's going to be all right. Stop crying. Like, man. So I couldn't live in a world where Marvin and Martin were both in the same city. It would just be too many
bullies, man.
They do it. Oh, that's so funny.
No, but honestly, though, look, from the moves that you guys made, you guys got an amazing cap space. Okay, you guys can do what you guys need, and after the draft, if there's still guys available due to injury, you guys will not have an issue with that. And that's what's cool about it. When you have space, you have that comfortable space where it's like, if we lose somebody, we can do something. You guys got a gang load of picks for more. Yeah. So on top of that, you got draft picks for DJ Moore. How the Panthers let that happen? I don't know. That just was amazing to me. And then you guys got in Edwards. You guys got the other 2 linebackers. Damn it. Edmonds.
DeMarcus Walker is something I really like having.
Walker.
That was awesome. Defensive tackle. That's
and then you got Foreman. Who else you get?
Losing Montgomery and again the Foreman and then having Homer being your backup, your backup to your backup. That works out for your running back room now. It works out. I am still concerned about the line, but Whitehair moving back to center works because that forces maybe Justin Fields to not be a shotgun as much, to be under the center. His problem was that he couldn't do shotgun snaps. But Whitehair back at center, having two really good guards out there, and then Braxton Jones is getting stronger. I hope he's getting stronger. He needs to be lifting all the time. He can get his little skinny butt in the weight room all the damn time. And if we could draft a right tackle, maybe I need to just shut up. Just let them do what they need to do.
You record that, make that a memo every time he cries. Maybe I need to shut up.
Yeah, I just need to shut up.
Shut up.
It's like Kadani said, go be that red card go be like Red from Friday.
For Friday,
yeah.
See?
So
chain, man.
Are the Bears the biggest winners so far of free agency?
I'm not going to say that yet because it's still not done. I would say right now, like free agency outside of trade, I'm going to give it to the Panthers. Yeah. They hit 3 elite guys in positions that they need. Say what?
They lost a lot though. It's hard to get.
I know, but they kind of made some up for what they needed in positions key positions that they needed. Out of signing alone, I'd say the Panthers. But it's still not over, and we still got another week, 2 weeks.
Yep,
2 weeks. I think
I'm gonna go with the Jets.
Okay.
Really?
I think the Jets did really, really well because it's no doubt they're going to have Aaron.
Yeah, it's not official, but it's happening.
The Packers have no leverage. They're trying to squeeze up hope, but the Packers are going to have to do something before they're going to be cap strong. And they can't make any moves as long as Aaron Rodgers is there. So literally, they have to do it. All right.
So they made Alan Lazard move.
That Alan Lazard, I thought, was actually a good move. And I think that's enough. Just that the fact that they didn't lose anybody,
that automatically makes them the number 1 winning team.
No, not the number 1. I think the Bears are better, a better move than them. I think San Francisco did better moves than them, but I think the Jets did good. They're fine. Yeah, they already have a great defense. They didn't lose anyone.
Same, Jonathan. Same. I just
because no one
they need to make the move
a lot.
They need to make the move and hurry up about it so we can move on.
What do you feel about Atlanta before we get off this topic?
I like Heineke.
I like their moves. Atlanta makes some.
I like Heineke. He's not bad. He's I think he'll be a lot more respected here than he will out in Washington. That's for sure.
I mean, that's not saying much. But like, we won't spit on the guy.
We won't though.
But
here's the thing: like they're giving Desmond another go, is what it seems like.
Yeah,
I know Heineke will probably end up taking over.
I think he
because Desmond Desmond has to do good, or he's gonna be just a backup for the rest of his career. So it seems like
it's possible they already know.
Yeah, that's the scary part of it. But that's what I'm saying. If I'm okay if we suck next season. I don't know. I feel like if we get a higher draft pick and get one of those quarterbacks that are coming out next year's QBs are not bad. The first 2-3 are not bad. I think if you tank for one of them, your team is still young enough to run it and be in contention to actually fight for the division. I think they can do it. They're a couple of years out. I think if they just need to fix that stupid defense. And I've been saying that for years. Fix defense. That defense is horrible.
Yeah. And they've done some things.
Yeah, but it's a very slow process. It's a very slow process, and it's.
I mean, Jesse Bates is a great safety. He's a top 5 safety in the game. All right. David Onyama is a very good signing. Caden Ellis, I thought that was another good sign, like another underrated signing that's going to make your team better next year. Mm-hmm. So it's possible that Atlanta.
I'm glad we signed our linemen back. Those were our first 2, our former first rounders too.
Yep.
And those are really good linemen. It's like I said, Heineke would probably be the guy next year in order to get us further because we've seen playoff Heineke, and he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I would not surprise me if Heineke does so good next season that Atlanta just decides, you know what, you're good. Stay.
Yeah.
Desmond,
I can see it.
you're gonna be the backup until your career, your contract's done. Sorry.
Well, Heineke's going in thinking he's the best. He's saying I'm going to be the backup, but he's really saying,
Oh, hey, he's being humble about that. He's being humble about that. But because Heineke's just a dude who just loves the game so much that he don't matter. As long as he's on a roster and getting paid, he's fine. That's just Heineke. He's just
a
a
lot of
humble
teams,
dude.
a lot of guys believe that cream always rises to the top. So in the end, you're gonna look at me and say, okay, I'm gonna end up being the guy. I can see Heineke becoming the Jared Goff of next year.
Jonathan.
I can see him.
Jonathan, we know.
Yeah, but
I don't think that's the first time you said that.
but it shows how well Atlanta did. So like it's funny because Chicago and Chicago South both have very good free agencies. they really did. And then Jesse Bates is what puts me over the top for me for Atlanta. And Heineke possibly being that guy, and you already have talent there. So if your defense is less of a Swiss cheese, and you got the quarterback, and you have some running backs, and you have tight ends, and you have a number one receiver, like you have all the things that make you needed to make a team. And the team that used to dominate the division is going to be booty next year. Just saying. Carolina's probably not going to be good next year. It's going to take them a year. It's going to take Carolina a year, which is good.
Yeah.
It was if I was Carolina,
at least a year.
You don't believe in CJ Stroud?
I think CJ Stroud's going to do fine and win 4 games.
The problem is his weapons of which thing?
Yeah, he's going to win 4 games, but they're going to know that they got the guy.
Okay.
And the big problem for them is that they can't go draft Mark. If they get the number 1 draft pick and can't get into Marvin Harrison Jr., I'm going to laugh so hard all the way to the bank. Because then we'll be able to get him. It's all within our plans, guys. I'm leaving just at that.
No. We'll just let you have that.
It makes me
you know that awkward silence where it's like everybody don't want to make fun of him, but it's like, all right, just
no, there's no time that anyone here that doesn't want to
that's what that was.
No one, there's never been.
Nobody said anything in chat either. It was just silence, bro.
I was actually gonna pull up DeMarcus Walker talking about Justin Fields.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, just let him have it. Nobody said anything. Me and Tank were
let him sit in it.
Just let him. But look, I still think Houston probably end up being the worst team next year. I still think Houston's going to be the number 1 draft pick.
It doesn't matter.
Bringing Bryce Young in ain't going to help it because Bryce Young ain't going to have enough targets to do it with.
He might be all right for the 4 games he's able to play.
He gets hurt. Brian was like the Joker because it's all part of his plan. But when one little old team tanks, everyone loses their mind.
Yeah.
Well, I just think that the Panthers are a little bit better than them than that.
You've been saying
he
that for
thinks they're the worst team, but I still think
they're
Houston,
not.
Houston is going to be the Cardinals.
I think Houston.
Yeah, they're in that contingency too, man. I think that the Panthers are going to be better.
No, I honestly think Houston's going to be better just because their coaching is going to be more suited for what they're trying to do for the team that they have. They're going to believe in their coach. I think they're going to draft just well. They're going to bring in 2 first-round draft picks this year. I don't think you guys are thinking about Houston the right way. And Houston's going to be in the division that's not full of juggernauts. So they are. If Houston wins 6 games, that's the most that they've had in 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That kind of posts them to not the bottom anymore. They're in top 6.
Okay.
So the Cardinals I could see losing because they have a tough division, but they have the Rams in that division that are terrible too. So I'm
gonna give you Houston everything you just said for the next season. Because you are going heavy in this rookie draft and you have awesome positions in all these picks.
And they had a 33rd pick.
It's a lot of rookies, man.
Yeah, everything's new. Everything's new.
But you get the best. You're not just getting rookies. You're getting the best rookies.
Yeah, but
Like,
the best
you get
sometimes
the
don't
top
always
33.
come in right away, swinging the fences right off the bat.
You have a good running
It's going to
team,
be the next.
and you have Laramie Tunstall, right? So re-signing him is a big win too. So you have a left tackle. If they go get a quarterback, a good receiver,
Bryce Young,
and something to solidify the line, and they do that in the first 33 picks, and they still have other picks. Like they didn't
White
trade
or Sam Laporta.
You start to see a team that's not going to be as bad as you think it is. And all of a sudden they go from 2 wins to 3 wins to 6 wins. They double their output. And I'm not saying this is not this huge thing that I'm saying they're going to do. I'm saying they're not going to be the worst team. That's what I'm saying.
But
I'm saying
you're saying they're better than the Panthers.
I think the Panthers will win 5.
Interesting.
I think the Panthers will win 5. I think Houston wins 6.
5?
Yeah. And I think there
probably be another team after the draft. That's going to be a spike bet after the draft.
It's probably
after the draft. We're going to see where people land. I disagree with you there, but we'll see.
Yeah, but even if they get all these like the best players, they're not going into an established playbook or anything. Like everything's going to be brand new over there in Houston with Ryans as the head coach now. It's like
I love him as a coach.
Everything, I think he's going to do great too. But next year, like you said, like I agree with Martin on this one. Like it's going to be you're going to get all these good things coming together, and unless lightning strikes, things needed to develop and they need to
for them to
together.
Be a playoff team. Yes, for them to win 6 games, no.
I don't know, man.
It's 6 games. The bar is as low as you can get it. All you got to do is put 1 foot over it. It's not. I'm not saying they're going to be just juggernaut of a team. There's 17 games. Them to win 6 means they lose 11.
Yeah, I said
in a division that doesn't have
the worst team in the league, though.
But they have the Colts there. They're also a top 5 pick. A top 5 team. The Jaguars who are just learning how to freaking win. Like it's not. They don't. The
Jaguars gonna be so dangerous.
Are trying to lose. They have a terrible quarterback. They're trying to get rid of their running back. They have lost all their people on the defensive line, and you're telling me they can't win 6 games? I think you guys are all wrong.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be the worst because Green Bay, like you said, they might tank. The Colts. I forgot about the Colts because everyone forgot about the Colts because they're just hemorrhaging
any quarterback
everything.
He's not even going to help them.
Yeah,
not to next year.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be the worst team, but it's going to be some time before they get some good traction going.
I think Brian is arguing with himself about 6 games in the worst. They get out in the worst team.
I'm just saying that
we're saying the worst team. Brian's over here trying
they're not the worst. That's basically what I'm saying. They're not going to be the worst.
Okay, it might not be the worst.
5 teams.
It could be the Cardinals, and Braden brings. I think that the Cardinals trying to do what the Bears did last year. Just get redo. Yeah,
they might just.
Jonathan says Colts or Titans are his picks. Long shot at those. Those are his picks. Or the Bucks. They signed Baker for for cheer purpose of telling him to tank. I don't know.
But you just said
I'm hoping for Baker.
The Colts and the Titans are in the same division as the Texans. Guys, like
yeah.
Next year we might see the Titans be the worst. And I actually see the Titans could potentially be the worst. I don't know. Look. I think it could be the Cardinals.
I like the Titans. The idea. The problem with the Cardinals is, you know what? If Kyler Murray ever wakes up, he can win you.
He's the biggest issue. He's so good, but he just doesn't. He doesn't like.
If he commits, if he commits, and he's too good.
Now he's losing Hopkins potentially.
Yep. But if Zach Ertz comes back and they run double tight with him, McBride, and then they have Hollywood Brown, and they have some things there that they can once again win some games, and win once again. If teams win 6 games, they're not going to be the worst. Because there's a possibility that some of these teams.
You think the Panthers are going to be the worst?
I think the Panthers in that division. I think they could be a 4-win team.
Interesting. I
Panthers had a great.
cannot
It's
wait
funny because
till
they had
after
a
the
great
draft to see what
defense.
happens.
It's funny because the Panthers had a great defense last year. You know what I'm saying? Like they had a great, and they lost people off the defense. They get pretty good signings, but if they're not having a quarterback, don't have that number one receiver anymore, and the division gets better. I'm just saying the Bucks
Am I
might be
saying
bad.
they're the last one in the division? Potentially, yes. That's a very good possibility.
So I'm just saying, and we're not. I guess we're not even really arguing because we're really agreeing with everything we're saying. But I'm just saying it's possible the Texans the Texans might not be the worst. The Panthers have a chance to be the worst. All of them have chances to be the worst.
It's going to be Panthers, Cardinals, Houston, or the Colts. I'll even throw Tennessee in there.
In Tennessee, yeah, and maybe the Bucks. Maybe the Bucks. If they decide to tank, I think Baker's good, but it doesn't mean they really are.
Yeah. Jonathan says I need to see Voldemort go to Denver. I said that, and I said that it's a good chance because what's his face over there?
Yep.
And it wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me. Maybe I'll say his name again.
Tight end, and he might end up.
Yeah, even though they got Dolchich, but
very possible
because that dude plays everything, man.
He plays everything. You know what's gonna be funny though? And we're gonna be talking about it, and he's gonna be the one player that wins someone a championship next year, and somehow Martin gets him back on his team again. I'll be so mad. You don't get to have him. No, I'll tell the commissioner, but then he's the commissioner, so it won't work.
Just delete him from the league. Just
if he ends up with him again, that's going to be so hilarious. I'm so sad.
I would never, ever get Voldemort ever again. I did the one thing, and I did it, and I trusted him. The one time I needed him to do 0.7. He didn't do it.
That was the worst.
So Arizona and Houston have on suit. Okay. So 200,000 to 1,500.
After the draft,
didn't I say those three? Including with
you do Titans.
Yeah, someone else. Titans and the Panthers, right? No, I said
Titans, Panthers, Bucks. Yeah.
I don't think the Bucks. No, I don't think the Bucks would be that bad. They might sneak into 6 or 7. I don't think they'll be as bad as these teams, though.
I don't know. Houston, I think Houston's odds change if they get CJ Stroud. They get Baxter Smith, JSN.
They're not getting CJ. Look,
they CJ Stroud, JSN, and
I hope if CJ Stroud ends up in the Houston, I'm gonna be kind of bummed. I really am. I don't want to see that. Because
Laremy Tunsil is a good left tackle, so you have a good to block your blind side. He's there.
Yeah, but the Panthers would be smart to get CJ. That's what I'm saying. I think that the Panthers are going to go after CJ, and I think that's why they made the move.
I hope they're smart enough to get CJ. And
I hope so too.
But if the Texans get him and they could go get JSN to be with him, and they have a plan, that team's going to win 6 or 7 games, man.
Why would I do this? Why would I have him on my roster, man? So Martin needs to have a guarantee to have him on his roster. Why in the hell would I want to do that? Do you know how frustrating that would be?
You know the worst part. You wouldn't know how to play him.
That is a whole roster burned spot. No.
And then he has 3 weeks in a row where he scores like 15 points, and Martin just looking at him like, man, I could have won.
If I were to do this, I would ask all the other 11 members, give me the one player you hate. And if they give me a list and I'm like, all right, you had no, absolutely not.
The player I hate the most is the starting quarterback for my team.
But you're not allowed to play him. You're not allowed to drop him. Heard or not. Hold on, it says you're not allowed to drop him.
All right, I won't drop him anyway. I ain't
you really can't
until he retires. I ain't dropping him anyway.
No, I'm just saying, and I'm just saying, I think this was more of a redraft purpose. I would never do this in Dynasty. No way, absolutely not. Dynasty, no, never, because that is the most funnest thing ever, and I'm not about to just play games,
ruin it
in my Dynasty league. No, I'm so excited to see what
Draymond,
Monty does. That's all for yeah. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be the
That's
perfect
gonna be
duo.
good.
I really am. And I'm not even scared what all these Swift owners are being scared. I'm really honestly I'm excited for both of them. It's gonna help them longevity and I think health wise. You roll one out, the other one's gonna do just as good as the other one, I think, in my opinion.
I think Monty gets 1,200 yards this year. I believe Swift could get 800 yards and also have another 500 yards receiving. They both have
They
around
broke at least
1,300.
1,000 one way or the other.
They both
Yeah.
have at least 1,300 all-purpose yards, and that's going to be a killer of a team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Your sorry is not good here.
I'm really excited to see Jamal forever. Can't wait to see. Yeah. I hope he does good for you.
I just want to see what happens with Kamara. I'm interested to see how many games he gets.
Nobody's talking about it yet. We know it's coming, but we haven't talked about it.
It's quiet.
Oh,
yeah.
It's
so quiet. I wonder if the NFL is going to try to sweep it under the rug.
Yep. That's what I was thinking.
They can't.
If the media's not talking about it, the NFL could do whatever they want. If it's not a story,
training camp time.
It's not a story. They're going to sweep it under the rug. If the charges, doesn't get convicted, because he was charged. If he doesn't get convicted.
Yeah. I mean, they'll probably do like a game or two just because then like any reporters can't go after him. Like, oh, they just let him go. Like, no, look, we gave him a game or two. Yeah. But I mean, that at that point, that's basically sweeping it under the rug. You know, if he only gets like 2 games.
And then in that backfield, you have both of them. Jamal Williams and Kamara.
I want to be surprised right before the season, like some big journalist, like talks about it and does a big, thing on it.
But it affects 3 different teams, and that's why I think the NFL doesn't want to. If you though Kamara's the number 1 name, there's other football players that are dealing with this whole thing. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. There's 3 different teams that are going to be dealing with this, and that's what I want the NFL probably wants to sweep it under the rug as much as possible. That's what's so interesting. I mean, this is just it's going to be a hard thing to do, but I want to see what happens.
Yeah. So yeah. Wishing Jamal the best, unless he's playing up against the North. And then is OBJ and Lamar banking on Sims to a point nobody wants them?
No, people want Lamar. People want Lamar's teams.
I could say that about OBJ, not Lamar.
Yeah. San Francisco is talking about Lamar right now.
Yes.
Oh, look, I feel like you just giving the NFC. If Lamar's there, with behind that offensive line with Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey, dude, that's an all-star team. That's unfair.
Yeah,
it would not be fair. It literally, you have 2 number 1 receivers that can get the ball. You have the best tight end for a guy who loves throwing the tight ends, and you have a back who's amazing behind a line like that. That's not even fair,
Brian. The way things are going, this free agency, and just before, like during the offseason, now that the new year is coming or is here now, free agency has been working. Just look at my lineup. It just looks. Did you see that? Just everybody on that team just happens to have a great. If Lamar goes to San Fran,
off more and more.
If Lamar goes to San Fran, anybody in who has a Niner on their dynasty roster is going to be excited.
Anyone who has George Kittle, you have to realize George Kittle might jump. Be the number 1 tight end in the league next year. Yeah. He will be the number 1 tight end in the league.
I'm happy we got the 31st easiest schedule, except for the fact that we got the 32nd easiest.
They landed at the 32nd easiest.
Yeah. That's the story of my life.
And that's why Atlanta's going to be good next year. Like, I don't think Atlanta can't tank to get anybody. They're going to win games, at least. They're going to.
We'll be good.
You have too much talent there.
Because we were still coming out with wins somehow, some way last year when we didn't even think they were going to be that good, and they were that good.
Yeah, and now you have real talent, and you might have a real quarterback there too. Yeah, now you can win 8-9 games, man.
I would imagine so. I just need to see it. I just been so hurt with this defense that I just need to. And yes, they're making moves. I can't get excited anymore because just of recent history.
We're the same teams. Atlanta and Chicago are going to have the same wins. We're going to keep on doing it together.
I just don't beat myself up like you do. I just know I just can't get excited until I see it.
Oh no, I live and die.
Lamar and Lance, 1 for 1. Nah, they ain't. No. No.
Oh man,
Lamar, no.
Would you? So they give up 2 number ones and Lance for Lamar. That might be something that could work. 2 number ones.
Yeah, but he's just saying like he's a straight up 1 for 1.
But because he has the tag on him, you have to get 2 number ones.
Yeah,
so you do that, and I can see that happening. That's so much.
As much as I would love Lamar and Niners, John Lynch has the prepare for Nick Bosa contract that he's coming up, and as well as Tufa Funga coming up, and so I'm gonna be it's gonna be tough, but it would have to be a move that they know they would have to win the year, and that's hard to bank because you'd have to. I mean, there's 31 other teams you got to try and help beat, but it's like yeah. And then you would end up like losing everybody and be like the Rams.
Christian McCaffrey. No, first of all, everyone they're signing is young. Okay. Understand that Lamar Jackson is 25, 26 years old. So he's still very, very young.
I don't think he's talking about the fact that you're not going to try and get. I think he's talking about the fact that money-wise. Money-wise, you don't have enough.
Because you can sign them to your own contract and put it any way you want it. You can start front loading with huge amounts of money early.
Yeah, but
and then
Lamar's greedy freaking no.
Yeah, he wants all that guaranteed.
You can't when all these guys are gonna look.
Still push it all forward. So when you have to resign both,
dude, you don't have that money. Space. What are you gonna do with $7 million?
I feel like you push it so much. You sign it and you drop a few guys.
Yeah, you will, but will they? Will that's the thing. You got realize you are messing with their lives too.
You're not taking their money. You're restructuring. So you restructure with McCaffrey. Like I saw this thing. They said you're
still getting your $200 million. You're just not getting it all up front. You know what I mean? You're getting a little bit here, a little bit here.
It's hard to
they
do.
Said they'll restructure with McCaffrey. They'll restructure with Debo. They'll restructure with Williams, and that will allow enough space to give him big money. You know, and all guaranteed whatever money he wants, but it'll be front loaded, and then you can still have everyone still on that team.
I mean, the Saints do it every year somehow. So, I mean,
I don't know how.
Restructuring works.
But it's like people talk all the time about what's happening. He's not worth the money in the picks. Okay, and then I'm talking about the 49ers line. It's a solid O line. But I mean, he's a great run blocker, average pass blocker for the Parsons hip toss. Yeah. Yeah. The only problem is where they wait. The more capital rises, the tag goes up. Yeah. But thanks to the Browns. Yeah, no, exactly. The whole Watson thing messed up everything. And that's the thing. Now people look at that like, well, why can't we do that?
This makes me crazy when people are saying
Lamar Jackson's come to where we sent Trey Lance, maybe to a 21st pick. And 4 years straight with no first round. Yeah. But you can't do that because then you screw yourselves. And then you're going to be in bad situations.
Everyone you have is young. And so it won't matter. Yeah. And everyone talks about the Browns. Look, first of all, quarterbacks should have players in the NFL should have guaranteed fucking contracts. They should have guaranteed. You don't understand what it is to put your life online, realize you're only going to have 6 years to make all the money you're going to be able to make in this thing. And not have guaranteed. How is it a fucking contract if it's not guaranteed? It's the only sport that is allowed it. And everyone wants to blame the damn Browns. No, look, all the NFL should come together and quarterbacks say, you're going to guarantee our money. That's what they should be doing. Don't blame the damn Browns. Blame the NFL. The NFL literally has us poor people looking at them, these rich teams, and saying, man, look how stingy these quarterbacks are. What? They're actually doing something,
but
and the team doesn't want to guarantee their money. It doesn't make sense.
We weren't talking about this until that happened, though. We wouldn't be talking about this.
The players union has been talking about this forever. I'm telling you, I was knee deep in this stuff.
I'm just saying
I'm
that's
telling
what
you,
triggered
this
it.
has always been a benefit.
Yeah, but that's
It's a
what
good thing.
triggered
But it's
most,
a
like,
good
and
thing.
everybody else.
But it's a good thing that they're doing this. Finally, that they realizing that these guys deserve this money. It's a good thing. Everyone needs to be
For
on
the
board.
players, yes.
Everyone should be
I'm not
pushing
saying
it.
it's a bad thing.
Even
I'm just saying.
even the us fans have to be saying these guys deserve to have their contract. It's a contract. So imagine you going to your boss coming to you and say, "Hey, I promise you this much money, but we're just going to go ahead and release you, whatever, without giving you any reason or nothing." You'd be like, "Fuck you."
The thing is,
that's what the way they
that's
work
what
under.
triggered everything, though. We've been having this issue for a while. Yes, is it good for the players? Absolutely.
Good thing.
But the thing is, we wouldn't be having this issue had it not had happened originally. I don't know if I don't know if Lamar would be thinking this way had it never happened. Like Watson, what he did is he pushed the ball forward, basically. So now it's rolling along to Lamar. Next year, we're gonna find another QB or an elite QB that might end up doing the same thing. Or another position. It wouldn't surprise me that the running backs are gonna end up gonna be boycotting their ways because they're the cheapest position.
Here's my thing. What happens when Joe Burrow gets his complete contract, his fully guaranteed contract, and when Justin Herbert gets his fully guaranteed contract, and then we're looking at Lamar and said, "Oh, he's been asked for it, but it's okay for them to get it, but not okay for him." I'm telling you, this can of worms, this ish is going to hit the fan, and Lamar's going to have to get his money, or all hell's going to break loose.
Yeah,
and they should get their money. That's why, like, it's not our money. The NFL needs to change. You need to guarantee these contracts. These people, I see so many people that that play in the NFL that are barely making it now. Like people don't understand. You have to make this money has to last you the rest of your life, and these contracts that you're signing are not guaranteed. Yet everyone wants to be like, "Oh, blame the team." F the team. I mean, blame the players. F the play. It's the team. They have billions. They're making billions.
Like they have
and you
to
want to
fork it out
guarantee
right away. They have to fork it right away.
They're making the rules. They're making the rules and then saying, "But that's why we can't give you the money." You make the rules. How are you holding yourself and you want to guarantee my money? You want to say I'm signed to this money, but you don't want to guarantee it. It's wrong. And any other thing, any industry, everyone would be like, this wrong. But because you love your team, we bleed. I bleed blue and orange. You bleed, black and red. It's just because we bleed our team's colors, and we're so thought about this is my team that you don't want to pay these people, and they deserve their money.
That's the issue with all 32 teams, though.
It is. It's everywhere.
It's a league.
I have no
problem. And it's kind of like what Donnie said. Like even if you can structure it, spreading out over 7 years, 10 years, yes, that's kind of what he said. Like it's 25 million, yeah. But that's the thing, though. They want it now because they don't know if the team's going to want them later.
Because it's not guaranteed.
Look at Daniel Jones's contract.
If it's guaranteed, Daniel Jones gets the money.
That's the thing. Daniel Jones is like another. It's like his is basically in the first 2 years. After that, the team arc isn't gonna hurt money wise, even though he signed. Was it 4 years? Right?
Yeah.
Those last 2 years, they can cut him. And they're not going to take a lot of cap hit. That's the issue.
It's crazy that
but that's what Kadani's also saying. Like
NFL lets you know
reconstructing is hard.
But the NFL is letting you know that we don't care, and everyone's okay with it, and everyone wants to blame the players to ask for stuff. And I just don't.
And it's always one side too. If a player gets out of a contract, whoa, that's the end of the world. But when the NFL or teams get out of contracts, they're like, well, that's just business.
How business
that
works.
Was the argument of the Browns, and that's kind of what he also said.
Yeah,
they messed up by letting it kind of happen. Do they deserve it?
They need to change the market, and I hope every quarterback says, "I'm not signing crap unless you guarantee all of them."
But none of this would have happened if it wasn't for the Watson thing. Like, even though it's been an issue, but that's
that was
what
the catalyst of
what,
it all. But
that's what triggered, and that's what Jonathan earlier was trying to say, and what we
Kirk
were all
Cousins
trying to say.
got 3 years guaranteed money.
Well,
But
that
no one
was
talked about it.
that was
But no one talked about it. He got 3 years guaranteed money. It wasn't just the franchise tax. He literally got 3 years fully guaranteed contract. He was the first one because Lamar looks like Deshaun Watson. Now this is a big thing.
Hell yeah, Anthony. There you go.
Yeah,
I agree.
you should. I mean, like, every player should have a guaranteed money.
It should be guaranteed. It doesn't have to hurt you if you cut the person and you lose the money, but that person should still get their damn money. It's a contract. Go talk to your go get someone to go build your house, and you sign a contract with them, and you say, yeah, I know we said this, but I'm gonna cut you right now. I'm gonna bring somebody else in. You're gonna be guaranteed to pay that money. Any other industry, you can't do this, and it's the player's fault, or it's not. For asking for more for guaranteed contracts, that's what they should have. It's like it should be what is already guaranteed. It's called a contract. So I don't know. That's something I always felt that I don't understand it. I'm glad that NCAA is finally figuring this stuff out, and I hope the NFL figures this stuff out too. Yeah, sounds like Lamar Jackson needs Kirk Cousins' agent. It sounds like Lamar Jackson needs to be like Kirk Cousins, and he's not like that. He's not like him, and there's reasonings. I'm telling you, and you're going to see it when Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert's contract comes up. Just wait.
Was that? Is that next season?
Next year,
yeah.
Just wait, and that's what I'm saying.
And that wouldn't surprise me if they start exercising some of the ideas during season, because there's a window where they can do it, and then it just stops for a little bit, and then it reopens again.
Yep.
I think it's like week 9 or something, isn't it?
Especially if both teams are doing really well again. You know what I mean? Like,
what happens when the Bengals say "F you"? We're giving them for a full contract. We don't care what you say. And then you look at you start looking at the Ravens side. Like, why the hell wouldn't you do that? What's the difference between these two guys? They're both MVPs. They've both been on top of the division. They've both been hurt before. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, same damn thing.
I thought they were working on Jalen Hurts' contract.
He's the same year.
Same year. Raven or the Eagles would have to end up doing that too.
Jalen Hurts can't go say, give me guaranteed contract because he's not on that level. Joe Burrow can. Yeah,
they should have done it then. And now they're in a situation. That's what everyone's saying. They should have done it then. Now we're in this.
After Josh Allen signed his contract, they should have offered him Lamar Jackson the same contract. Yeah. And this never would happen. So stop blaming Lamar Jackson for asking for guaranteed contract. It's not his fault. But everyone wants the team, off the hook. I don't understand.
It's just like, I don't know. I don't think it's ever going to get fixed somehow, some way. It's still, there's two different parties of the situation, and it's usually owners versus the players, and then the players somehow always have the leverage which is good because that's what they're giving these owners. Owners cannot do anything without the players because the players are bringing them the jerseys, bringing them the ticket price, they're bringing them the talent, the skills that they need for their wins, and winning teams make money. It's just the way it is.
If Burrow went to the Super Bowl, Lamar hasn't. Lamar won an MVP and Burrow hasn't. And he's been in the AFC Championship game 3 times. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Now, if you would say Burrow won a Super Bowl and Lamar haven't, then that kind of changes that a little bit. But neither of them won a Super Bowl. Yeah. So,
and they're the same division, and they've both been hurt, and one's been out for an entire year because of torn ACL. I'm just saying, you can say a lot. There are a lot of different things. But Jalen's getting paid this year because I don't think he's a second round pick. It's a 5th year option. So yes, technically the 5th year option for Burrow will be not this season, next season. So this 4th year option for Jalen is the end of his contract. So Jalen will get his money next year, but all of them will get their money next year because they're not going to sign either of these guys to a 5th year contract. They're going to sign them to extension from the 4th year to, they don't want to be on their last 5th year. They're not. So all of them are going to get their money the same time. Burrow, Herbert, Jalen all getting the money at the same time. Because no one's going to take a fifth-year contract for your quarterback.
So much money flying next year.
It's going to be
huge
contracts, and the NFL is going to have to stand up to all that stuff that they're talking about now. So I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see, man.
NFL contracts are messed up as the NBA, MLB contracts are structured much better because the union fought for it, and the NFL tried to fight for it. You know, this was like late 80s, early 90s.
Two-party things.
They tried to do it, and what happened is they found scab players that want to play because people want to play in the NFL. You know, in the NBA and MLB, it's so hard to hit a baseball. If you find someone a scab player, it just won't be the same. Like the game just doesn't look the same. Do you like going to see little league games and think you play MLB prices? It's not the same. You know, the NBA, you can either do. There's only 0.5% that could do the things that the NBA could do. So like you can't have scab players come do that. Football is just violence, and a lot of violence just gets more violence, and you just enjoy the violence for what it is, not necessarily all the skills. Sometimes you just enjoy the violence, so you change the game differently. That's why they were able to find scab players, and there's also 100 players on 130 different Division I teams. You always have more people. And if you don't believe me, watch the XFL.
Shit.
Also, MLB doesn't have any cap space. They just don't believe it. So these contracts are insane. They're paying pitchers $350 million.
I don't even know how
crazy numbers. Crazy numbers. Look at the Yankees.
But the way they make money is because these teams literally make billions of dollars every year.
Yeah, billions.
So even having a cap for $215 million and a team that made $6 billion, not worth $6 billion, made $6 billion last year. That means all that money they get to put in their pocket.
Yeah. I mean, football is the number one sport in America, but how they don't have higher cap spaces and stuff like that. It's
because it was negotiated poorly.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's really the player's fault.
It keeps going up too. Going up too every year.
This is percentage wise. You know, but
I know.
NBA gets 50%. So like, I think the players get 51%. Mm-hmm. So whatever the team is, they get 51%. That has to go into the salary cap. Yeah. And in football, it's not decided by that. We don't give you 50%. We might give you 30%. We're gonna run this like as a restaurant. Labor costs you 30%. That's how we run this fucking business. Yeah. That's how they do it. And no one sees it because everyone else loves football. But it's a business too. And you say it's a business, but do you really understand what that means? Yeah. So the 15-year contract seem boggling in the MLB compared to the 4-year primes in the NFL. Yeah. And I still say baseball is the hardest sport in the world.
Yeah. Well, a non-pitcher could be in the league for a long time, where a pitcher is definitely can stay in long, but longer than NFL players, but still not as long as a non-pitcher position. But yeah. But that's the difference. Is like you said, the violence. The violence takes that life expectancy of a player down to like single digits, you know. Yeah.
And then shouldn't it be then guaranteed if you know you're
more money?
You should be contract if you know you're only gonna be able to play 4 years.
You know, like how was that higher risk, higher reward type of shit? It's like these guys are risking the highest kind of thing, and they're getting the lowest reward.
Football teams like, no, we're gonna keep on making our billions every year. I'm just saying, you talk about how teams want to pay them big contract extensions before the rookie contract is up because they negotiate the 4th or 5th year, so Jalen could get money right now. He could, but there's no guarantee for him to. Why would they give him the money now? You give all quarterbacks in the 4th year, so that Jalen could get his money, but they are going to push it off to next year. And then you say we're going to give you the same money, and we'll use Burrow. You'll use Herbert's contract because why would even Jalen want to do that? He signs a contract for $35 million now, and then find out he could have got 60.
Yeah.
I know Jalen's gonna also say, I won't bet on myself, and then we'll all do this at the same time in my draft class. And I'm gonna get paid because I should have been drafted where they were.
That'll be smarter.
Who did that this year? Who's that? Roquan Smith. You know, he wanted a bunch of money. Bears are like, nope, and then he went somewhere and got all that money.
Yep.
And it was also the Ravens who don't want to do it for Lamar, which is insane. Which is insane. Which is a slap in the face for Lamar. It's like, hey, this guy that just joined the team, we'll give you all the money you want. You know, Lamar, I don't know, man.
All the contracts for them would be different because of the years you're giving these players 300 minutes for 9 years. It's still do the math. How much money is that? Yeah. It's still something that's crazy. So I'm just saying, just recognize how these contracts are going when you're saying these things about these players. Saying that Deshaun messed up. I wish it was anyone but Deshaun that signed the contract, because my argument would be even stronger. But because he's a douchebag. If
it was Mahomes,
you would say, yeah, okay.
Look, the shining star. They're like, oh, look at that, Mr. Good Boy.
That's the thing right there.
It wasn't Deshaun.
So that's why I was like, oh yeah, Deshaun did. But it was the trigger point of it, and it was, and you're right, it was because it was Deshaun. But it's just, man,
it wasn't him. This whole thing,
this is hilarious. The fact that it's just hilarious, and it's funny to us. It probably ain't not funny to a lot of people, but it's funny to us because why? Sometimes me and Brian just want to see the world burn. But for the
it's so insane. It's so
just wait till Deshaun comes back next year. And he does well, and then everyone's gonna be like, "Well, look at that contract." But they were like, "Well, they won."
I really hope
win, everything changes.
Look, I'm not saying. Look, there's players I really like, and they were horrible humans, but they were good players, and I liked what I saw as players. I don't care about outside. Look, what I saw on the field is what I see on the field. And if they're paying for what he does on the field, and he does what that money says, then I'm okay with it. Outside of that, look, if he's a horrible human, that's on him. But I really hope that Deshaun Watson has a better year. Amari was still a decent receiver last year, and we don't really talk about that.
Yep. But imagine the Cleveland Browns got DeAndre Hopkins. That's why I always thought, what if the Cleveland Browns somehow got DeAndre on that team?
I think the Browns are going to do good.
The duo back together.
Oh, man. That would be funny. And then all of a sudden they win 10 games. Let's finish up these things. All right. I feel too worried about his play style, but their offense needs to change. I wouldn't worry about his play style because there's a lot of players that have that same style. Jalen Hurts had the same style. They need to have a better offensive line. If they invested in their offensive line, it wouldn't matter. It'd be great. And they says the Ravens need to try and go out and get a true number one wide receiver.
Yeah, we've been saying that. We've been knocking on that door for
how many years? Can you say 3 years? You're saying the same thing, and they're like, oh, let's get the cheaper option.
Yeah,
let's invest in somebody.
But also, you're doing that because you're banking on your quarterback being so good that he can make a number 2 or number 1.
And you're making him
again.
You're making him like he has to do these things. So now he has to go risk his body because you don't want to put the people around. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's exactly what Anthony said. Because then it's crazy because Lamar has done more than Watson, not only in the NFL but just for their respective teams. I
mean, he's the MVP. Lamar. Yeah. Look, I talk about the injury things, but Lamar would have came back last year. But I'm not coming back without my contract. Unless you pay me, I ain't coming back.
Yeah.
But no one's complaining about this. Yeah. No one's talking about his tenure.
Wasn't it the second highest?
But it's not.
It was ridiculous.
It's not all guaranteed though.
Yeah.
It's not all guaranteed. And he did that on purpose because he's allowing them to go get other people. He's allowing because the way that
it's spread out. It's kind of what Kadani said earlier.
Yeah,
and what they do is if they want, they'll instead of having a high cap number, they'll give him like $20 million more, and then that lowers their cap number, and they can do that every year. So his cap number could be like $15 million, even though they gave him 45.
Right. Wow. It's interesting. It's an interesting topic to just kind of like dig deep into, which we did.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to go down that rabbit hole and unless you understand all sides of it, and it's one of those rabbit holes that I don't like going down, honestly.
No, because this is what GMs go through. You know how hard it is to be GM in the NFL, man. It sucks. It really does. Like to make all these decisions is just nuts. It's nuts.
It's living under a structure that's already been made, and then they blame you for the structure that they've already created. And he's like, "Oh, you don't care." Well, no, it's
the
not.
owners just fire you because
Exactly. It's the structure to you guys. I'm just playing under it, and the owners are like, "Oh, it's not me. It's him." You created the structure.
Yeah.
It wasn't did this. But we collectively bargained. And you said we ain't doing this. We ain't giving you 30%. Like it's that way. So oh man, that was so much stuff.
No, you're good, man.
Well, Andy said sorry. No, that was, if anything, we should clip that out and just that should be a whole clip in itself. You know, contracts in the NFL.
Man, I just have I feel that way. You know, someone like, I'm not saying I would have been anything that would have been good like them, but someone who was close enough to knowing that had to be, I thought of that, is that going to be my future? Knowing that really dictated the way I was going to, you know, use my college career and how important school was and things like that. Because it's only 4 years, 3 to 4 years that you're really going for. How much is that really worth?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not guaranteed. And you have to have those tough questions. You have to understand the way things really work. Oh. All right. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to score by Lamar Jackson. But yeah, it is good. It was fun.
It was a good topic. It's a heated topic, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
It is. I feel like once it's all settled and done, it'll just disappear until the next dude.
It is.
So
yeah.
But the
that's
thing
how it
is,
always happens.
The next dude is coming next year.
Oh, it's gonna be. I think it'll be easier because it's gonna be not just one dude. It's gonna be a couple of them. So,
yeah. And my question is, what happens if Jalen Hurts gets back to the Super Bowl again, and then he doesn't get the same contract as Joe Burrow?
Yeah. No. That's. And this is why it sucks to be a GM. And the Eagles are not in a. They're not rich right now, at all. So they're not going to have a lot of money next year. They barely just got over the negative right now. It's going to be
because you have because you have a defense. And they spend money the right way. But what are you going to do?
Jalen might not play for the Eagles.
Man, can you imagine that? It'll be.
Man,
if they don't, if he gets the Super Bowl again and they don't pay that man,
he's out. He's gone.
He's gone. Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You know how many teams will go after that dude? Forget about it. That's another freaking. No, I'm not getting into it. I already know people are.
That's a whole other show in a year.
End the show. People are typing where he's gonna go. End it before we get a buttload of questions.
No, let's just end the show.
I don't want to jump into the Jalen where he's going next year. I don't want to do that. Nope.
Man. No, we'll get into that next year.
Yeah.
Once again, guys, this is why we talk about football doesn't end.
See, look, football does not end, guys. End it, Brian.
Always something else, you know.
End it.
Free agency, we got draft, we have things that always are going on. So the season never ends. We're in the new year. The new year started last Wednesday. Welcome, Happy New Year, guys. This is what we're going to be talking about every Sunday. Come with your questions. Come with your comments. We want to be, interactive with everybody. This is what we love doing this. This is what I wake up Sunday mornings. The first thing I think about is I'm going to go lift so I can hurry up and get ready for this show. Everyone knows I'm sitting on the show at 9:30 reading my comic books, waiting for the time to go down. That's just literally what is going on. So I want to say thank you for me to all you guys that are in the comments. So that was all I really want to say.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Who's gonna close it out? That was a good way to close it out.
That was a good show. It was a long one too. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Let's get out of here. Appreciate everyone. Thank you guys. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. We're on our way to 300, giving away jersey at 300. So hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends about Dynasty Pylon. Let them know to come check it out for all their fancy football advice and help before the actual draft start and all that good stuff. Come here next week. We're talking about some more stuff. I think what's next week? Owners meetings next week.
Owners meetings. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers will be the Jets. More time.
More money. But cool. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
What you got Wednesday?
Wednesday we got to finish up the QBs, and then We'll talk
Get
about
into the D line. I can't wait for that
D-line.
next week.
yeah.
following
We'll
week,
be doing D line next.
That's
gonna be
cool.
fun.
That's gonna be a lot of fun. And
So,
then
I
Tuesday,
think-
guys, we're gonna be talking about the Bears, a lot of these signees, and what's gonna break down some of what the NFL has been doing, where the other teams have been doing, where these players have been going, and who should we be looking at next year. I think that when the schedules come out, we're gonna really be looking. And remember, these people that had the worst records in the division are gonna have an easier schedule. How's that change?
Mhm.
And what rules are going to come up in an owners meeting?
I don't know. I'm excited. That's one of my favorite because after that owners meeting, the schedule's out.
Yep.
And then shortly after the draft.
Exactly. About almost 5 weeks away from the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's coming. But cool. Let's get out of here. Appreciate everyone in chat. Make sure you hit that like button, like I said, and subscribe button, and tell your friends about Dynasty Pylon. We're out of here. We'll see you guys on Wednesday and on Tuesday on Nerd Huddle. Later.